In ancient history, a war between the newly created races of Toril and the forces of Hell left humanity nearly extinct. In the post-cataclysmic world, humans placed themselves above all others, while races deemed undesirable watched from below. Ferox, a newly created race intertwined with beast and elf, were regarded to be even more monstrous and were forced into servitude. During the war, the gods and goddesses gifted unique arcane artifacts to those fighting against the Hells. These items turned the tides of war and brought forth brand new schools of magic in the form of the mage class. Alas, magic and hope fade from a world on the brink of destruction. Our hope now lends itself to a select and unlucky few.
Hey. Wow. So, welcome everybody. So professional, Mike. Wow. So, welcome back. We missed you guys last week, but we are back as the unlucky few, coming at you with that hot, fresh 5e Dungeons and Dragons action. Left on a little bit of a cliffhanger last time, so I'm sure everyone is on the edge of their seat. Whoa!
I think we just left.
What? No, yeah, we left and all of you were literally spending the night at the Potts residence, but I wanted to try and hype everybody up. But sure, fuck me, I guess.
What happened? I don't know.
As I continue going through the intro, everybody make sure you have your phones at the table, but on silent so that I can message you guys. Pat, you have your phone at the table, right?
Yes.
Cool. Text Ellie. She wants a reminder to notification.
You're gonna call her out like that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Ellie, if you're already watching, you're about to get a message from Pat. If you're not already watching, then I'll see you soon.
Ellie, you're getting a special shout out from Fendian. I don't know who you are, but hi.
Alright. So, it's been 2 weeks, but we are back. I know we had originally planned to take next week off, but we don't want to leave you guys without some good quality, wholesome entertainment for, like, that long of a time period. So we will be coming at you next week, which will be good, because, you know, tonight could go a variety of ways, some of which are kind of interesting.
Hooray.
I'm all dressed up for Valentine's Day already, because I didn't originally know we were going to be filming next week. Also, it's my birthday, and I will cry if I want to. But, announcements. This episode will be up on our YouTube channel at Tough D&D next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll be coming at you hot and fresh next week, and then we shouldn't have any more breaks in the near future. We will have some board game nights coming up. I don't think they'll be streamed, but we'll be filming some extra content for you, so we got some fun stuff coming up for us. Other announcements to make? I think that's about it, so without any further ado, I believe I'm going to get into the recap, if that is alright.
I'm tech again.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, our tech guy at this point is just literally non-fucking existent.
Look, we're getting married in 2 weeks, and then it should get better.
I'll be the backup tech.
So without any further ado, let me start up some intro music. Where we last left off. Last session was begun in the very, very bottom of a Ferox temple. Arwen was able to meet with a Ferox champion, as well as the Twilight Mouse herself. The rest of you were transported into an odd sort of grove that you were able to pick up on was actually the place where the cataclysm went down. And you were gifted a rapier and a dagger that turned out to be one of the instruments of fate. cataclysm and calamity. So, upon receiving these gifts and you promising to fulfill the quest, the burden that was given to you by the Twilight Mouse and her champion, you all made your way up north, following up on a lead, a note that was found that you felt might be connected to your family. You took a trip up north. I'm unamused and unimpressed. You took a trip up north to visit your family. Well, not to visit your family, but to see where the note was. And upon discovering the tiny seaside village that was up there, you had a very happy and tearful reunion with your little sister and your mother, neither of whom you even knew were still alive. After a fun reunion and learning that your mother had just been living a fairly peaceful life ever since they made the move away from your father, and your little sister had announced that she had begun to take on a sort of privateering role in the village. You spent the night after having dinner at the Potts residence, one of the first actual family meals that Arwen has had in a very long time. And as you spent the night cuddled up with your mother and your little sister, they promised to eventually make their way back down to Baldur's Gate. They also suggested that you go and see a certain potion maker that was in town before you left, as they would be the ones that the two of them would be traveling with when they made the return to the city. But you all went to bed and had probably one of the more peaceful and more relaxing, unguarded night sleeps you've had in a while.
That's actually surprising.
And so, as you come to consciousness, the rays of dawn light coming in through the windows, the day is yours. What would you like to do?
Did Mrs. Potts make breakfast?
Yes, she is currently in the process of making breakfast.
Wow, no one, huh?
I'll wake up and stretch out in front of the fire and turn over and see if anyone else is awake.
I'll just be meditating while
I pretend to be asleep as soon as I see other people are waking up. Because I think it's rude for me to be awake.
We're gonna draw in your face.
Wake up first. I'll get up first.
I'm just gonna stay asleep until somebody else wakes up.
I guess I'll probably offer to help Miss Potts and stuff because I feel rude just like sitting while she's like doing things.
No, this is the village potion awakening. This is the song the music is playing right now. It's looking into the village. It sounds very, very similar to Palatown from some of the original Pokemon games. I'm not gonna talk about that right now.
Hello, Mrs. Potts. Do you need any help with breakfast?
Oh, well, I can handle it myself, but I certainly wouldn't say no to breakfast. I can.
What about 3? And I also make you chance.
Go home.
I was gonna say used to Arwen's.
I sense a disturbance in the
I was gonna say used to Arwen's like shenanigans. She just kind of like laughs and just welcomes your help.
Can you imagine if she forgot to like pass Mage Hands? What about 3? Just hold up 2 hands.
I'll reward your theft.
Can't count.
Yeah, I'll bear with your action.
I'll just stay in front of the fire with it. Useless people here. Sit there and look.
Anybody else?
Just
Slowly
play
come to
more harp.
consciousness. Right. Breakfast is served. It's homey. It's delicious. Afterwards, Celeste would come up to you, Arwen. So, I think we gotta get going to work and stuff, but it was really, really nice to see you again. And soon we'll be back together, you know, like a family.
Hopefully you guys can get them.
She like a big old hug. At this point, she's like about almost as tall as you, if not like maybe an inch taller.
Jesus Christ, you're a monster.
Wow. In your ear, just here. Alright, you'll always be the big sibling to me.
Hooray. Don't you forget, Gil.
Could never. Alright, well, turns back towards the rest of you. You all better make sure she gets back safe. You hear me?
Somebody say something, Jesus.
Oh, somebody better make sure I get back safe.
We're all
think
trying to
I
be
will
polite
fine.
to my family. I just don't want to do anything to like unsafe stuff.
And she gives all of you like a once over before the party out the door.
I have one for you to meet. What, you're
Oh,
saying
you
I'm not
have
into
a
it?
daughter.
No, but I know exactly the person you're referring
Talking
to.
about Sylvanus.
Are you
Joke made
saying
in
I'm not
character.
intimidated?
You're not a
I'm
child.
just shatter.
What?
Mrs. Pond speaking. So, will you all be leaving now? Are you all departing now?
I guess if everybody's ready to go.
We do have others to meet.
Ready when you are.
I leave the table. Don't worry, it's just something she wants.
We get used to it.
I already left mine for the
I forgot about that.
Like right as you say that, she like goes to pick up that pillow and sees the cold there, and she's just like,
Oh, how did that get there? Probably came out of the floorboards, you know. The cracks shift and changed it all left behind there.
I imagine it's like a solid floor with no cracks in it.
It's stone.
stone.
Yeah!
The gold fairy.
If you are interested in meeting the traveling with, they have a alchemist's potions shop, sort of down near the entrance of the village that we typically walk past. Other than that, just kind of like tussle your hair and bring you in for a hug. Make sure you get home safe. We'll be back before you know it.
What are their names?
Smaller one, her name is Schnapps.
Okay.
And the taller one is Honey.
Like what?
The alchemist. The one she said a few moments ago.
I thought these were like Tom's children. Like. Damn, I felt fucking.
I mean, if it's on the way back, we can all just pop in and say hello.
I'd buy a potion with the gold. If I had one! What? Yes? Yes, Steve?
It's Mrs. Potts.
Wait, right there.
Potts children. And that's Arwen's mom.
Yeah, I know.
I think he thought that Tonic and Schnapp were more than us.
Yeah, we're more kids.
No. More of Arwen's siblings?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
No, I've only got two other ones.
It's really.
I made subtle dog noise.
I have two more, but I don't know where they are.
What?
Two more siblings,
Brothers,
but I don't
correct?
know where they are, yeah.
And older?
Yes.
Right. Well, you have a feeling where they
Did you just say that I had a funeral for them?
may be. Yes.
Right.
You have a feeling where they may be because you are planning to ask Finn, I believe.
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah. Can't remember, honestly.
Well, Finn's the prince.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
ready to go.
If they got escalated into something like higher security or more serious issues, that we might know.
Dude, the
Well, what do you-
the flute stops.
I mean, the last I heard, it was just local. It was just
But do you know any, like if Brox got arrested by local police, do they just get thrown into a dungeon, get put into like a work camp, get sent away to another town, things like that?
Would you know what I know? I would know, and I don't know.
You would know it.
I think they would just send me to jail.
Yeah, though the last thing you heard, they were sent to jail, and then last session your little sister mentioned that she had called in a few favors to have people look through like the upper parts of the jail, but found no signs of them. So she was wondering if you could pull any strings to look at some of the dungeons to see if they were there. Maybe.
What are their names?
Answering for Arwen, one of their names was Gage. The other one is Avery.
Sorry.
A-V-E-R-Y. Gage is the older one, Avery is the middle child. Well, the older middle child. What? No. Good one.
I love how you didn't even look at me.
Wow, they're eating alive on me.
What?
You two are in quite a mood.
So,
As
as
soon
soon
as
as
she's
she's
done
done
breakfast,
breakfast,
I don't
she's
know
just gonna
what-
awkwardly wait by the door until everyone's ready to go. Yeah, and Fendi and takes like some spare pancakes.
Have a fun way to
Sounds
specify their pancakes.
Maybe, I don't know, hot cakes, sorry. Because
Flapjacks.
and fantasy pancakes, I don't fucking know.
Fantasy
And he wraps them up in like a little handkerchief. He's like,
He sits on them immediately. Like,
So they just
sorry.
go.
But yeah, I save some pancakes, then I wait by the door as well. And I thank Mrs. Potts for her hospitality. Or is it Ms. Potts now?
Technically Miss Potts now. Say, you would have heard the conversation yesterday where Celeste alluded to the fact that the father was fairly abusive and bad to the family, and that the knife they were fighting over when Arwen left eventually found its way into the father.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I misunderstood that as like he was that they liked him as a father, but like it was an accident and he fell into the knife.
No.
So.
What?
I was like, why is
like in character?
I was like, why is the child so proud that like the dad like fell on the knife? That sounds pretty shitty. It makes way more sense now that you explained it.
just thinks that's what it is.
Yeah, you know, Audie now knows the truth, but Penny's like, oh my god, poor family without a father.
Moving on, because we have a lot to get through tonight, and I don't want to keep us too late because it's my birthday and I would like to do other things.
Chicken strips.
fucking.
When and where, bitch?
It's gonna be a long night.
So, what would you like to do? The day is yours.
I'll leave.
I thought we were going to that show.
I thought it was like on the way out of the city.
It was at the front gates.
Yes.
I mean,
There aren't really even like the gates to the city.
Oh.
It's just kind of like the
Yeah.
buildings start.
Assuming I hugged
Yeah,
you
I was
guys.
You do. That was she hugged you goodbye and she told you to get there safe and she'd be there soon.
Dope.
It's like, and then she like pulls you in for one final hug and she's just kind of like afterwards like leans back and like looks you up and down. I'm really proud of you. You've become a very strong young Just kind of laughs. Kisses your hair one last time. Just on the forehead. Very good part.
That was adorable. Also, the reaction of it.
It's wholesome.
He just like watches that like that. Like,
One tear in which she sucks back up into her eyes. God.
So let's say striking any chords for Jade.
She's just like can't feel her eyes away like yes. Like between the two of them.
Penny's like crying on this one. Let's go, but like it's like
It's
not
hard
like
to
this.
be.
Oh,
like
your
the-
foot is like against my leg. I'm not even. My legs are not out. You're like.
I was
very
like,
far.
what's hitting my foot? Repeatedly?
You're like very far out.
Far out.
That's where we should be going far.
Yeah, let's
Because we
leave.
need to go home.
I am home. How dare you?
So you all head towards the entrance of the village. There is a small kind of like makeshift building, almost like a tent. It's closed closed up currently. You can't like see into it. It has like a little sign hanging off the end of it that just has a bottle of like it's like a potion bottle and then like a second potion bottle like on its side spilling out like next to it. Cool little sign, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Is there anyone outside of it?
There is not. So there is like you hear like some glasses clinking from the inside.
Is there? I was gonna say, is there like a window or anything? Like if we knock.
I was gonna
No,
say
it
the
is.
same
It is.
thing.
It is like a tarp tent.
We did the same.
It's not like peeled open, but it's like the other flaps that like open up are currently like this, but like peeled open.
Oh yeah,
As you
shop.
as you get towards the entrance, you hear like a little bit of like a vibrating sound, like a low rumble, and then just followed by just like and then you hear a body, like the sound of just body on grass, just
Oh my god.
before finally it just rolls out of like where you were about to walk into the tent, and kind of like rolls 2 more times before just coming to like the male figure coming to a stop, just like on his back staring up, like goggles on, but like slightly like sooty around like the edge of the goggles, just like staring up at the sky, just like mouth agape, just
Oh my god.
kind of like leaning up, close the goggles off. Okay, for anyone, I was to say, for anyone who has their phone on them, I do have a reference image. The man is a wolf thorax.
Oh, give me that bar up.
Wilson, there we go.
So I looked down at it and just, you come here often? God, I'm upset that I don't even know what he looks like yet. It's just a white image.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Well, this must be really interesting to watch. Oh wow, using it.
I'm still not here.
Let me look at him.
There he is.
It's like the Final Fantasy when we drove around our main character, but with ears.
That's this everything you name it?
Whoa. But yeah, he's just kind of like staring up at the sky and kind of like peels the goggles off and just goes, "Oh no, now is now is a good time. We were just my partner, wife, and I were experimenting with something, and guess we won't do that again. Oh, that hurt.
Alright, well, we'll see you later. Have a nice day.
Well, we're still open for business if you're interested.
I don't have any money.
What, you're already in the
There were
building?
so many
Returning
jokes
full
there
marks
that
around
were like so related that I couldn't even get one of them out.
Yeah.
Which are you snuffs or tonic?
This is
Tonic?
Oh, I'm Tonic. Yes, my wife is her name is Snops. She is inside currently. Hopefully not still experimenting with what we were just experimenting with.
Not another one from Mikai.
I imagine he's standing next to Kai, Kai just opens his mouth and is like, and he's just like, nope.
Close your
Kind
mouth,
of like-
sweetie. You look like a trout.
Kind of like looks curiously at you. But yeah, he's just kind of he's currently dressed in like he has kind of like a whitish grayish like cloak on, kind of like for mixing alchemy stuff. Though he does have a short sword strapped to his hip. He actually has a pendant around his shoulder that is a holy symbol of Mystra.
So do we like do this out here?
You can come in if you would like.
Safety side?
Should be. Let me kind of like peels open the tarp. It's like might have visitors or customers if you were not still trying to blow everything up. You hear like a voice from inside. It's kind of like muffled a little bit. Yeah, she says you can come inside. You walk like as you can see, you're the first one in, so I'm guessing he'll open the curtain to walk in.
I thought I wanted to walk right in.
Did you? Oh. Well.
We're all in there.
It doesn't matter.
I was going to say, it's really hard to keep track of all of you because all of you are like on different like time, no, all of you are on like different like time levels. It's very timey-wimey shit trying to DM you guys.
I like a rug, really.
Anyway, alright,
What?
we're inside.
This is a fine
Yes.
establishment.
So you walk inside and you kind of like bump into something, though not like with your chest, like with your legs, and you hear, "Hello, welcome."
Oh, is it like magic?
Oh no.
The goblin. It's payback time!
I look down.
Oh, it's a person.
Well, no piece of character.
What character?
Yes.
Funny and silly.
You meet, you now find yourself, knee to, well, thigh to face with a small goblin girl. These deep sort of like brown eyes, long black hair, jewelry on her ears. She just kind of looks up at you and just goes, "Hey, that's me."
Oh, Benny doesn't. He's not saying anything, brothers.
Yeah,
No, we're not.
we got all.
No, I'm here to check you out because you're traveling with me.
You must be related to the Pots.
Yes, I am.
They're really
do that.
nice. The little one especially.
Oh, jeez.
Did you spend all your gold on this?
She brings us lots of stuff to make potions with.
Oh, like what?
Yeah.
She brought us a couple of dragon scales last time. Those have been interesting.
Nice.
But yeah, we're giving them a free ride to Baulder's Gate. It should be good. My husband out there is a paladin, so
Okay.
he's pretty good at hitting stuff.
How you guys getting there?
Oh, we have a cart and some horses. Yeah, at this point, Tonic walks back in and kind of like sits down on the ground next to Stops and kind of like arm around waist, super cute like. An odd couple, but still, it's cute nonetheless.
Is he a tall person?
He's about, let's say, 6 foot. Well, she's about
3 foot
Oh.
nothing.
she's about 3'8".
God.
Oh my god.
How does
This
that
is like
work?
when you see like, oh, my 2 dogs had a puppy and it's
I
like
was
a
about
chihuahua
to
and
say,
a
is a
pit bull.
chihuahua and
Like,
a husky? Oh my god.
Well, it was very nice to meet you. We have to be on our way soon.
you can see Kai just bursting at the seams, like trying not to say anything.
What?
Do you have plans to say?
Yes.
We
you
do,
actually
we have
are
potions.
actually
What do you
staff.
have that's
Are you looking
experimental?
for anything? Oh, well, if you're
Stop it!
well, if you're looking for experimental stuff, she kind of like pops up onto a stool and like goes to like her like the workstation, and before Tonic can like stop and just be like, no, that just exploded. We do not touch that. She kind of like looks up at him. I understand your reasoning, but I am nonetheless disappointed. She kind of like hops back off the stool, kind of like goes over to another shelf. We got all sorts of stuff. What were you looking for? Got stuff that heals, stuff that makes you stronger, stuff that makes people weaker. We have poisons. Let's see, stuff that makes you smaller, stuff that makes you bigger, stuff that makes you invisible, stuff that makes you fly.
Halfway through the conversation, she's like, "Oh yeah, have you seen this man?"
You're on thin ice.
Nope, can't say I have.
Bendy mumbles in undercommon to the person that made me close myself.
And Kai mouthed it along with you.
She kind of turns to you. No.
What'd you have?
For the shop?
He muttered in undercommon, is there a potion that can make me love myself?
The goblin turned to him and just went, no. And then continued on.
Yes, vodka.
And with regards to some of the poison,
Yeah.
are they ones that you can put on weapons, ones that the person has to drink? Like what kind?
Yes.
Both.
Uh-huh.
And are they something that if you get caught, well not caught, but like if a guard were to stop you and see it, is it something you get in trouble for having?
I think that really depends on the guard. It also depends on like how you're gonna use it and stuff. Cause like
It's a
if
shady
you're
question.
if you're like a murderer or you know, I mean, I'm
Well,
sure if you're
poisons
carrying
are
like
very
large amounts of poison, like you could always like maybe I don't know,
Poison.
give the guard a couple gold or something. And as she says that, you just hear from Tonic, and she's like, I mean, yeah, you can probably carry it. Just be sure to let the guards know what it is, so that everything is honest and up front. She says it's like kind of like a question mark, and then turning to Tonic, and Tonic is just like, yeah.
I like her.
Do you have anything that can help
No, but I heard about this spell that does exactly that. We don't have it here, but I know it exists. I think there was a scroll of it at I don't know, these weirdos in not
Bendy laughs.
not weirdos, but there was a very eclectic group of merchants in Baldur's Gate that had a scroll that did that. I think.
It's okay, she's one of
a
them.
stack of these, and they charge you 10 gold, so maybe next time you like them.
Sure, I can hand out your posters.
So hand them over and get 5.
Thanks. Anything else?
Didn't you say 10 gold?
5%.
Oh, but she said 10
Um,
and you
What kind? How much would the poisons?
Poisons? Do you want the kinds that go on weapons or the kinds that you feed to people?
Ones that go on weapons. Maybe feed. I'm still debating on
She kind of like sees your eyes flicker just to you and she goes,
Wait, what?
I'm gonna whisper to Kai.
I know Kai was absolutely like. Should I be worried if you know
that.
Sounds fake.
No, you should only be worried if I buy them.
No. But yes, the ones on weapons.
Ones that go on weapons? Depends how long you want it to last. And how strong you want it. We have some mild poisons, some moderate poisons, we have some extra strength poisons, and then we have the exotic ones, which are the strongest. But if you're looking for some mild poisons that only go on for like a little bit, say maybe this one is good for like a single application, so you put it on and then you hit something once and it comes off. That'll be 5 gold pieces, and then we have one that lasts for 3 applications, and that's 10 gold pieces.
Do they work on magical ones? Or would that be a normal one?
Yep, they work for magical weapons.
I think it's 3
Really? Alright, that'll be 10 gold if you will.
Sure. He'll hand over the 10 gold.
And she hands you like a bio poison.
Anything
that
to
has,
specifically call it?
what?
Anything to specifically write it down as?
You can just write it down as oh, I'm trying to think. What do
I think they have like certain names.
I'm trying to think of like that herb. Can't think of it.
there?
Arsenic?
Yes, arsenic. No, it is mild death-bind extract. You have 3 applications of it, and it does 1d4 poison damage when applied to the weapon. Oh, Kit Kat.
What is 4 poison?
Correct. So, anything else I can help you with?
So, I do remember that I still have a vial of like whatever poured out of those gruesome mountain demons in like our first dungeon. I'm gonna ask her if possible she can craft something out of it.
Or she can identify.
Well, I mean, she doesn't need to identify it. I told her what it is.
This looks like it's fiend blood.
Yes.
Yeah, I could probably make something out of it.
Cool. Let's say, I don't know if I give it to you now when you come back to the city. I'll pay you for whatever you want.
Sounds good.
Alright.
She'll take it from you.
I should
She'll shake your hand. Is there anything else that you all were needing?
I think that's it for me.
sometimes it's weird.
Alright,
The horse
well,
didn't shop with you.
we look forward to running into you all once we return to Baldur's Gate. And we will make sure that your family stays safe.
Your voice. There's a time and
If
place
you
for
don't
everything.
come back and I'll bite off your head.
What?
I would hate to incur that wrath, but don't worry, we're pretty he like walks over to where there's an armor stand that has like half plate mail on it, as well as like a kite shield and a longsword, and kind of like taps. He's like, we're fairly safe when we're on the road. I can handle myself fairly well.
I'll bite off your head, says the mouse and the wolf.
It's always when you least expect.
She's fierce. I like it.
Well, on our way. Thank you again. We'll see you all at a later date and time.
Of course, sounds good. Safe travels.
Those pancakes.
Safe travels. Safe travels back, and may the light of Mistral shine upon you.
Same to you. Mr. Oldett.
That was
I was going to say, as soon as you say that, there's just a buzz in the back of your head that's just like,
in my head I was like, listen, I'm just being polite. You know I'm your ride or die.
followed, I was going to say, the only other thing you hear in your head is just,
Not the die part yet, please.
I mean, rider! Ride!
When he says Mr.
Why am I-
She does that like monk bow and then just walks out.
he kind of like looks at you for a second longer before like a knowing look comes across his face and just kind of gives you a bow back.
God,
But,
y'all are acting like this is
to you-
Alpha. Merry Christmas and like happy holidays.
Oh, yeah.
To you specifically, after you say that in your head back, the only other thing that you get for her is just.
Oh my god, I thought I was being dismissive of Mr., but I guess not enough. Oh, financial signal.
It seems like kind of good natured
Okay. He's like,
though. It seems like the person may just enjoy
messing with me.
how skittery Fen is.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Fenny and Alice having like a weird little battle with his
That's just you.
Ready to go.
Yeah, nobody even blinks. It's just normal.
Yeah, they just think he's fucking good.
So, what are you doing? You all depart, heading back out the break in between the mountains that you came in on. You come out the other side of the mountains. You are now once more in front of the hot springs. Forward and to your left is the large waterfall that dumps down water into the valley. What would you like to do?
T, how are you feeling?
Rude.
Whoa.
Oh.
I smack you again with my maid hand. I'm not hitting. When I say this, I'm never hitting you in the face.
It's like a-
like smacking you in the arm. I'm like, stop.
It's like when Pat goes to hit me as a joke, but it actually hurts because he's Pat.
It's like there's like naughty.
What time of day is it?
He just like keels over
It's still like not noon yet. I'd say you've got about 2 more hours before noon.
Let's just clear air. You three want to go for a bath.
I was just trying to see what T wanted
He
to
does
do.
not. I think a
Maddie
Hot Springs
does.
episode with Bond does. It'd be fun.
I agree, but I don't know how to make it
He's a close
possibly
bitch.
work at 10 in the morning in this game.
Like, are we at the Hot Springs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were at the.
We're just standing in front of them, just
I'm
like.
trying to gauge what Liz wants us to do.
Yeah.
You do whatever your gargantuan heart desires. This is your game, not mine.
Take a dip, babes.
I think if we get in, we're gonna get fat.
Oh, ow! I
Well,
sprained
naked.
my ankle. I get off my horse. Ow! I sprained my ankle
You might
getting
want
off my
to
horse.
take a
Maybe
look
I
at
need to
that.
She lets out a very annoyed sigh and just gets off her horse
I
and
was-
starts like tying the dog.
I was
Doesn't
about
take
to
off.
say, Luna looks at you for a second and she goes, Charlie horse?
Ah.
Hey.
Ah!
No, that's scary.
Wow.
Ah!
They just drop.
Is that your voice noise?
No, that was my fucking drowning noise.
We Dexter
Your
drowned.
horse makes that noise.
Exactly.
How did you manage that?
Alright, but I
really
have
hope there's
Oh
a
my
voice that
God.
makes that
I'm a
Oh,
dumb
well.
bitch.
Get me
noise.
out.
since we're
Everybody
here,
So,
Everybody shut up.
I put the poison on the arrow in that guy.
Alright,
Hold
so
on.
what are you doing, actually?
So, well, since we're here, might as well take a nice soak. So I'm gonna find a place where I can disrobe peacefully without anybody watching me.
Everybody go watch Figure.
And I'm gonna cast
You
disguise self at will, to make my body look not only not scarred, but I also make myself look really fucking jacked. That's what he's hiding under the
He's completely smooth and jacked.
He always wears really baggy clothing, so it's just hiding his muscles.
He's like the hot grandpa. of the
Meanwhile, T
It's
gets
only
like,
6 and drow years.
T gets like 5 or so feet from the water, strips, folds her clothes nicely, and then just gets.
I'm still wearing my skivvies. My briefs. But I'm like, I'm
He
walking
disguised
very...
himself so it's like he's wearing clothes, but he's not.
I'm just like, oh, well.
But since she's fully naked, you'll see everyone sees the tattoo
Her
here.
ass. Please, cramp.
Some letters in Premortal. She has on her left thigh almost like a garter. It looks tribal, some orcish maybe you think of another tattoo. And her soldar is focused on her hands and arms, so she has some on like her upper chest and like stuff like torso area, but she doesn't really have any on her legs except for like and she just gets in. And she'll probably let her hair out the first time that you guys have ever fucking seen. So it's long.
I stare at her forehead and never look beneath it. I didn't look any
So
lower.
imagine it's like in the animes where it's like right here.
Oh my god. No, it's like the animes and they don't have nipples.
That's
Just
the
like,
one thing you're
just a nice soak me and my
Everybody goes
normal
for a
body.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, those
normal
two go for a
body.
nice soak.
Yes.
Anything anybody want to happen during the soak? So.
How's it going, everybody?
I have any tattoos or stars.
He has a piercing.
Unless you're actively looking!
Ew, no!
What?
Are you gonna see that piercing?
I think that's
Like I said, unless you're actively looking. I'm not explaining it though! Stream!
You hinted at it, so something tells me you wanted to. So, who's excited to get back and do more things? You think that the guild's going like this?
Don't say the word excited when we're all naked.
Are you?
I'm not naked. I have my underwear on, you pervert.
Well, you got one thing right.
Because I don't want you all seeing my Fendian bits.
Oh.
Now you're going to be sitting in what Stevie's
I'll just go
doing today.
commando in my pants. You all won't see. Oh, they're all white. Listen, I'll figure it out.
That's what to say. Luna joins you in the hot spring. She has two tattoos in Sylvan's script that are one on her left rib and one on her right rib and one on her left rib.
Like those guys in middle school that were
And they're just like a script you said? Like one line?
They're kind of like decorated with kind of like more flowery like nature themed motifs. Kind of like they take up like this whole section of her torso.
Oh, going up.
And then this whole section of her torso. Yeah, like kind of like scroll down.
Okay, I know.
In Sylvan, yeah, Sylvan?
I can read any language, but I'm gonna, I'm just gonna be like, I'm like
You know
trying
what?
not to be like a creep,
Yeah.
but also I'm curious as to what everybody's tattoos say.
And then you can speak Sylvan, right?
Yeah.
On one rib it says build together, and the other rib it says to fall apart.
Before going in, I would
Gee, what is your
use a
thigh
bit
say?
of pinch
She
of
would
salt,
make an
sweet
effort
and
to
salt.
not
So what does it say?
Okay.
What?
So I would
I'm
use
not
it
just-
before I go in. I
look,
would
I'm not
cast
gonna be a
spells
fucking
using a bit
creep,
of salt
but-
and soup.
Oh,
What
to
I
what
like
is it?
say.
Like you guys
On one rib it says
before.
built together, and then on the other rib it says
She
to fall apart.
specifically would keep that thigh away from you until she was in the
I
water.
just want somebody to recognize that Fendian.
Do you also keep it away from Syl?
Why, how do we know that? We haven't seen
Alright,
it.
then you have to tell Syl what it says
That's
because
suspicious.
Syl.
Like he's like uncomfortably like jacked,
Yeah.
like bodybuilder.
Yeah, even though
Dehydrated.
you guys definitely know he looks like he weighs like
I know what
3
it says. You don't have to look at me like that.
I just
Interesting.
imagine Kai just like,
Imagine
whoa,
you cast
like,
a spell.
What?
Well, they're
Cast
kind of
spells.
Yeah, you can't speak read languages. So speak it
Yeah,
on.
that language is-
Oh, well then you. Well, you already
comprehend
knew what the
tattoo.
one on my chest said.
Look at her chest.
I know that was fun.
No, I wasn't. Listen, I love women so very much, but I'm very, I wasn't
Any-
looking.
Yes.
Anything else
women
that
in
needs to
their
happen in the hot
bosoms.
springs, or
Yes, they have those.
maybe we move on?
Oh.
I say around
Looking for something magical.
around.
Wow, we didn't bond at all.
To be fair, I did plan for this, just not right now. So
Oh,
don't you worry.
okay.
There will be hot springs.
Oh,
coming
my
time,
ankle
don't
is
you
better.
worry.
Time to go.
Retcon,
But
we'll
I'd
do
say-
this again later.
But I'd say you guys spend 2 hours. You feel refreshed as you hit the road. So what would you like to do? It's about noontime now. Sunlight in the sky.
Let's go home.
Question. I would notice as we're going down. that Ben's arms go from here to here as we're on the horses.
Oh, absolutely. It's absolutely very noticeable. Especially now that-
decompress.
Especially now that he's wearing like
Pretty
tight
light.
leather armors.
So he's just gonna go up to you and do like one of those things where like you're here, but she put her hand on your shoulder and like lean in.
I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, clothes fit the form differently.
He's in the corner blowing up his big biceps.
Say,
Come on, Gooseberry. Let me run away
say
from
off,
my game
say off in the corner when it's just like drying off. She is actually fucking jacked. She has to be just like a goddamn sword around,
Oh.
pinned still to the ground.
And for flavors, my briefs are hanging off my saddle.
like a flag.
So what would I have to do to like sneakily take them off and like drop them on our travels so they're not gone?
You would just have to ride next
Can
to me
I
and hope
do
I
it?
don't notice.
If you
Yes,
can't
I was
do it,
about to
I'll
say
go
make
for
a
it.
make a stealth check.
A monk and rogue.
Make a perception check, Sil. Or not Sil. Ben.
Yeah, steal Sil's underwear. Oh wow, anti-raid.
Oh my.
Make a sleight of hand check now. Make another perception check.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
What?
21.
21? You now have a pair of Fenn's underwear.
Oh, I
Now you know.
like chuck them up.
Now you don't
Then
hold
you're
a
then you're minus one pair of underwear.
This is the only pair of underwear he has.
I'm sure he brought more.
Everyone else make a perception check if you'd like to see this.
How old
Wait,
is
can
he?
you roll to see if I hit somebody in the face?
Oh my god.
What'd you roll?
18.
18?
Oh wait,
I don't
perception?
know.
I didn't add anything.
Hi.
I'm
19?
not hiding it from anyone other than him.
Yeah.
That case, everyone sees it, and as they see it, Luna actually kind of leans over to you. You ever notice how, like, it seems like Sil and T just kind of, like, bully
the shit out of
everyone? Like, I'm starting to get concerned. They're, like, really mean to Kai a lot for no reason. I kind of feel bad for him. Make a perception check, because you would be kind of, like, riding near
I
them.
didn't do this to Kai.
Well, no, but you're routinely mean to Kai.
Kai's routinely mean to me.
That's a what?
No, you don't hear it.
friends.
It just kind of leans into you and
Someone saying something nice about me?
I heard that. We're friends.
If anything, that's just payback for the fucking.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad sometimes. Maybe not for Fen, because Fen kind of almost fucked us when it came to that temple thing, but like, I don't know. I feel like they're just like kind of mean to people. Maybe this is how they show their love, because they're not comfortable with themselves, but I don't know.
Oh my god,
Wow,
no, Leaf
Mom.
just got that.
Shut
Do
up.
I hear any of that?
No,
No.
you're too busy taking my
You're too busy stealing underwear.
Don't
Fucking-
anti-raid.
I was about to say, you're too busy giving nerds swirlies to hear this. Sorry.
Pervert?
I'm not a nerd.
Stole clothes out of the locker room.
I am not a mom. Shut up.
Yeah,
I like
just
to layer
ride
it
on
for a
like
second.
that.
You kind of like bites her tongue before she can say anything else in that sentence. Kind of like shakes her head a little bit. Put that tongue back in your mouth. Kind of keeps riding. It's like a smile on her face during the whole conversation now.
Of course. Are we home yet?
No.
Oh.
So after a day's travel, you kind of stop along. There'll be 3 days worth of travel. Maybe something happens. Let me I'll roll to see if something happens each day or not. But first night, we'll once again do the same thing we did. We'll have there's 6 of you, so 2 of you taking watch at a time. So someone will take watch the first night, someone will take it the second night, someone will take it the third night, so we can run through some RP stuff. So who wants first night watch? Still in. And T again.
Want to.
Great.
Can't stare at it.
I want to watch with Kai.
Oh no.
Let's be gay best friends.
Do you want us to?
You mean
to roll
to
in?
break? Like that, you said.
Yeah, make
Winks with 2 eyes.
Make an athletics
Look,
check.
I'm not talking about me, I'm talking
no,
about
make
Fang.
a perception
And
check.
then very straight.
One of you can roll with advantage, or both of you can roll separately.
They both roll
We've already rolled it.
Their watches just so how about those women?
So I would have waited and given it to you.
I would have waited here to you then.
Well, either way, it's fine. Yeah. First one was 17.
Oh, nice. Good, it's not scary music.
Hello, sorry about those technical difficulties, but we are back. So coming to the first night, what did you roll for perception?
17.
So?
I gave her advantage.
Oh, cool. Relatively quiet night. Some, getting back to the more exotic animals that live in this valley. If there's any conversation that you would wish to have happen as you keep watch.
Yeah. So, after a while, she would like make sure everyone else is asleep and just kind of like whisper to make sure no one else could hear. But I'm not actually going to whisper because mics.
Fair. Stage
Rare,
whisper.
Rare told me
Yes.
that you may eventually go home as you left someone behind.
That is correct. Yes.
I offered it to her. She seemed it was a pipe dream, but I have a place that you could go that is a secret of sorts, and I'd be willing to help you get that person out as a return favor for what you're helping me with growth.
It's not that easy of getting her out of there. She's not very mobile. I appreciate that sentiment too. I just worry for her health that if she were to leave home, she needs.
We have. Sorry. It's an actual city. There are doctors and things like that, and we have a temple that at least used to, I'm not sure what it is now, but had good favor with history. So perhaps if worst comes to worst, she could always help. But we do have doctors and of the sorts.
And is that from where you're from?
Yes.
Are they? Is it a city that's meant to be hidden away from all Baldur's Gate, their politics, Waterdeep, their politics, and so forth?
It's a city of people that don't fit in normal society, and to make sure it stays safe and doesn't turn into normal society, we stay secret.
And what were you there? Just a citizen? A recruiter?
I was a part of the guard.
A city guard?
Not exactly.
What do you mean?
It's a bit complicated. They try and help where they can, and I found myself in that portion of the guard.
You see, I do appreciate our offer very much, and there's been something that's been on my mind for this day. I know Kai can't read it. I know Arn can't read it. I'm not sure about Fen, because Fen is Fen. But that tattoo, and I'm not going to say it out loud just in case someone's pretending to be asleep, but probably Fen. But
Why I called sorry.
why that?
Oh, this one.
No, not that one. You know which one I'm talking about.
That person is the reason why I'm here today. I would be here without them.
A mentor, father figure,
If anything, I'm the reason why they're not dead. But, they're the first person I met that was so naive to think that people were innately good And I still don't believe that, but watching someone that believes that people are good to the core, it has an effect on someone.
No, I can certainly understand that. Going from Road Deep, where every person you meet that's playing a game has someone in the shadows marionetting them. Going to meeting some of the people we do, such as like Gab, Colette, Aqua, Knight, all of them. It's quite eye-opening to see people just being people.
When you have the upbringing that I did, running into someone quite literally, that just assumes that you'll help them because you ask, it's a little jarring.
I can imagine. I mean, that's practically how I ran into Finn. Finn ran into me, and then asked me if I needed anything, and I was kind of shocked that it happened in the castle of all places.
Regardless, I owe that person a great deal. And I don't even think I'd be living if it wasn't for the effect that I had on my life.
I'd hate to say it at all, because from what you told me about them, they sound like a very good person. Do you think perhaps they were naively tricked into helping the unsavory box?
Either that, or they thought they could take it on by themselves, or just snapped after seeing something. They're always getting themselves into something that couldn't be avoided.
So once we find them, we're going to give a good scold.
Yes, I have a left hook installed.
I've seen how you punch people. I don't envy that at all. At all. But, if anything, doing this now, I was sincere about it before, but I want to see you find them even more, because good people don't deserve to be, whether it be tricked, hurt, led astray, and I would hate to see it somehow like the Black Thorn Guild, or just get someone latch their claws into it.
I would as well, but I'm not keeping my hopes up. I'd be happy just to know that he's dead.
Well, from what it sounds like, he's more than likely at the moment still alive. We've heard at least recent news that with him in the last few months, you've been searching for him for what, years?
No. He's been missing for 6 years now. I've only been searching for almost the past year.
Well, at least we have information of him about the last few months, and at least the direction. I highly doubt he's going to keep going north and south in the same direction. He's going to be heading in the direction of the same.
Possibly.
And where is this secret city? Like, just give me direction.
She'll just show her tattoo.
Right. Right. Once I get a from there and spell someone, send it to my sister and possibly work on getting unless to get anything else. So we'll go back to his watch.
Watch ends on the headphone. When it comes. I also need to retcon something real quick.
Sure.
So, when you were talking to Schnapps and Tonic, as Tonic saw you out, when one of you asked, I believe, like, when exactly they were coming back, because that would let you know when your family was going to be there, they would have said that they would have been back in time for the ball. The ball.
Me excited, T dreading it.
So we chase a changeling.
There's a ball?
Apparently.
At first, you guys have heard about it, but
Yep.
Oh.
Well, actually, no. You've been in Baldur's Gate for a while, haven't you?
Yeah.
I thought you said
You've,
years.
Yes,
you've,
like 60
you've
years.
been in Baldur's Gate for a while, so you would know that it is the fall. It is getting towards the end of the fall, so the Harvest Tide Ball is coming up. It is
Oh!
a yearly.
It
It is a yearly party that is thrown to celebrate the harvest and all of its wonder and splendor and glory, and it's like it is kind of like the last like big soiree right before winter hits. It's like known for being very beautiful and very like everything is typically covered in like oranges and reds and yellows.
That's
and
my theme!
Is
Oh, then yes,
lovely.
Fendian's excited for it.
Ow.
Would I know anything since I grew up there?
No.
You would have like heard of it before, but obviously with the upbringing that you've had, you've never necessarily been to it before. There is a festival in well, actually no, the Harvest Festival is something different. The ball is to kind of celebrate like the coming of the winter. The festival itself is like decorated with like yellows and reds and oranges, and there's like stalls and vendors and everything, and that's kind of like set up throughout like the streets. So you might have like been to that before just to like check it out, maybe pickpocket some people. There's a lot of people there. The ball itself is more of like the it's like the Harvest Tide, and then almost like a couple that lasts for about 2 weeks before the Winter's Tide Festival, when typically first snowfall happens. And the first snowfall signifies when the night of the ball will be, and that is something that is more like palace district, like nobility, high class. So that's something that you've never been able to get into before. It's something that you've heard about, and you might have like.
I feel like maybe he got an invite from the Mage Academy once. He was like, nope, not showing my face there.
Exactly, that is actually what I was going to say, pretty much verbatim. So that is what is coming up.
It's okay, Ben.
So,
I'll help you.
no.
As you wake up and depart to head further southward.
Okay.
Music.
I see.
The day is yours. What would you like to do? Marching order.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
I want to
always
go
the
next
best.
to T. I was going to say I would go first.
Imagine the one
Perception check, both of you. Wormwood is flying above.
Alright, next is still Mr.
Going in
Bother.
a roll.
Remember to roll it and not just drop it.
Hey.
Oh,
18.
yeah.
18.
I do kind of just drop it down.
So it just lands on whatever number that you already have.
There.
It's
As
usually
you get to about noon, get a little past noon, a couple hours past noon. So you kind of see it first, followed by Arwen. You kind of like look up to your right and kind of do like a double take as you see like a familiar sleepy gold dragon, just kind of like sitting up there. Well, not even sitting, just laying there, kind of like looking over. Eyes kind of flutter open, kind of like sees you all. Kind of like once again gives you like a lazy kind of like smoke just kind of comes out of its nostrils.
He blinks slowly at us like a cat because he loves us in the house.
Nope.
That's what Slash would say.
Head kind of tilts. For like kind of stands up on all of its legs, gives like a very slow kind of like stretch. Kind of like leans back and stretches before kind of like grips onto the rock and throws itself off before
Fendian's shaking.
kind of like overhead, kind of like curving over top, like going over top of you and to the left, kind of coming back around, going ahead of you, kind of turns back around to kind of come like straight at you, but kind of looks like it's going to fly and hit the ground before you.
Don't freak out, Gooseberry! Don't freak out!
I immediately am
Nice.
stopping.
Arwen?
Can we keep walking forward?
Slow it down
You're
a
on
little
horseback.
bit.
What?
You're on a horseback.
Yeah, with the horse. With the horse.
So
You're my
he
horse
lands.
outside.
Unless the
He
horse
ends
doesn't
up.
want to come.
All the rest of you see this as he lands about, let's say, probably 30 or 40 feet in front of you. It's kind of like coming to a ground, like the ground sort of shakes as he lands,
Well, time to take the
Kind of
Poison
lands.
Valley route.
and just kind of like looks up at you once again. Just like steam kind of like pours out of his nostrils. And looks over all of you, and all of you in your heads here. Hello.
Sorry. I reply back in
In common?
No, for Connor.
Oh, I don't
We're gonna be
speak
ready.
Draconic.
So, those of us that don't know the comic book.
No, you just hear a word in your head before.
I'll cast comprehend.
I was about to say you kind of get another like longer, more exasperated this time. Before in common, all of you hear hello.
Hello, sorry that I'm here. I'll leave now. Goodbye. Thank you,
She
sorry.
just like bows her head, like trying to show respect.
Well, apologizing profusely for my existence.
Be calm, Dark One.
Oh, what can I do?
I'm wearing like bright yellow and red.
What is it that brings you to this valley?
Not family.
Your family? Oh, they live in the village up north of us. Interesting. Oh, not to be rude. My name is Talmud. I live here in this valley.
Good to meet you, Talmud.
How do you spell that?
Talmund.
Okay.
We do not get many travelers this way, so I was interested to come down, but I was also interested by... looks up and kind of looks at the wormling that has since landed, kind of like next to you. This one.
Oh,
Or small child.
Kind of like leans in his head. The horse is kind of like back up a bit as his head gets 20, 15, 10 feet away, 5 feet away. Before pulling like right up, kind of like look like almost going snout to snout with the wormling. And what is your name, little boy? Just kind of gives like a. So you have not yet given her a name.
I figured we'd let her name herself when she gets to the ripe old age
however old
that
that
age.
is.
Of the age of naming themselves.
Appreciated, though dragons do enjoy being called things,
You could just
especially
call her
one
small
so
child.
young.
A baby.
Oh, it's baby time.
This means I get to pick a name. I'll pick a name.
Quick, go on 1000babynames.org.
Zappy!
Ye old baby
I'm gonna go,
names.
come here, Zappy! Does she respond when I go, come here, Zappy?
Zuppy. Oh god.
Yeah, he says a couple more things and you comment to the dragon. That's the one. Oh, that's right, you cast common language, you said you. Out loud, he says, say out loud, you would just hear. So, colors are very unique. The dragon will kind of communicate back. That's it. It kind of speaks in yips, which the old dragon is able to interpret. It's not necessarily draconic, it's just the dragon knows dragon nature.
Good old kobold, yeah.
Like when you
Yes.
understand that a baby needs something.
Kind of like leans back a little bit. Interesting. I believe I may have known my father, but still interesting.
You said you may know the father?
Returns Cozy. Indeed. I know many dragons. I've been around for quite a long time.
So this is not too phased. He's already met an ancient dragon before.
Kind of like leans back in. So how is it that it came to pass that you traveled with this lot?
You were given
You might want to mind that.
okay, correct. I never remember.
Clearly, how many times have you called Cisse a boy?
It's a
Oh,
girl!
I do have spite now.
There's a good deal. Anyway, shut up. Shut your mouth.
Shut the up.
Give me that face.
Shut the hell your
Give me your
mouth.
face. I'm gonna boop your nose and you're gonna like it. Give me it. Give me your nose. Please.
We're on camera!
Alright. Whatever. That wasn't weird until you made it all weird.
It was weird from the beginning, but
Anyways, I'm terrified and on my horse.
Alright, so.
A little less terrified because it's chill.
bad time to not wear underwear.
Yikes.
I don't know, does it make sense when I said it out loud?
Where are the notes? There we go.
I don't like the music stops.
Excellent. Oh, sorry. It's just on
I
the
think it plays on. Yeah.
Yeah, apologies. But after you answered, kind of like leans back down to the wormling. Which goes a few imparted words of wisdom. And kind of moves to a telepathic communication. Silence for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Before it eventually leans back up. Oh, before I go, just a word of advice. You're being watched for the last half day or so, just keep that in mind. That he kind of like backs up and just
Oh no, strategically
Flies.
him dialogue.
flies back off.
Well, that
Well?
was kind of him. Let's get the hell out of
Wormling, you want a name?
here. Zappy,
Should we focus on the more
popsicle.
dangerous matter at hand about being watched?
I'm gonna call it popsicles.
I mean, we're gonna find out who it is eventually.
They want something nice from us.
You want to know first if
Why don't we travel a little faster?
Yes, and also I'm gonna hand popsicles to my pancake. Your popsicles, you want a pancake?
Popsicles?
The wormling.
You get lots of bacon later. Maybe if I put some jerky on and roll it up like a little pancake jerky burrito. Don't like popsicles?
Doesn't like that name.
Oh my gosh.
So,
believe that
you
was
all
working.
continue traveling.
Yeah, I'll eat the rejected pancake jerky. And I'm also super paranoid and looking over my shoulder every 5
Yeah.
seconds.
We'll move a little faster, right?
Yep. Well, now that we know the dragon's not gonna F us up, we can just, I'm not sneaking anymore. Can we give our horses coffee? So they stay up all night?
Just give it a Red Bull.
that would look like no pizza.
So, you go through another day of traveling. Nothing quite eventful happens even after the dragon says that. Who would like the second night watches? So the two of them. Go ahead and roll perception checks. So everyone settles in for a second night.
Please tell me you got better than me.
It's a 0.
That's a 6. Plus 4 is 10.
23.
Oh, thank God.
So, alright, it starts out peaceful. Is there any conversation you would like to happen?
I always love that audio though.
I don't want to just like be all about me. I want to make sure the other party has a
It
chance.
is all about that.
What kind of area are we stopped in? The forest? I'll
It's-
just like lean back against the tree.
I'd say my perception roll is shite because Fenian's doing his special hair treatment. That's my
He's
So-
doing his.
yeah. He's
routine.
like leaving it like soaked in his hair. It smells kind of gross, but then like he also put like lots of like essential oils and stuff in it, so it smells better.
Yes, yield GNC.
What's that?
It's just something for my hair. You know,
Yield
it's
hair
a,
care.
it's a lightener.
He bleaches his hair white?
Well, the grays are coming in. I'm getting older, you know.
Alright.
It's
My white hair is turning gray.
shampoo. Listen. It's don't worry about it. It just keeps me looking like this.
Wait, so have we been able to see any roots of different colors?
Probably. I mean, if like anybody's that perceptive, mayhaps.
So-
I'll leave that up.
If he's using just fucking bleach, can the rest of us smell that?
It wouldn't wake you up!
I mentioned it the first day you guys met Fendi, and he smells like chemicals.
Oh. So what color
Yeah,
was
I know.
roots of it?
What?
What color was roots?
I don't know. Maybe you should have rolled a check.
Maybe you should have.
Whoa!
And I?
No, because now it's time.
Yeah.
I meant before.
Be perceptive in
I was-
2 to 3 weeks
I
time.
was about to say, yeah, hindsight's 2020. We can all mean to do things after they happen, but
What color are Fendi and Rose hairs?
Oh, I think that they'll be black no matter what.
Does they
I
bleach
think
his
they
mustache
probably
too?
change color depending on.
Can I roll perception for
Weird.
mustache roots?
no.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
Every now and then, he's like. He whips off
At the
his
very least, I know you can get white ones.
Anyway,
Kai, I have a question for you.
I'll probably answer.
Has Sylvanus been incredibly nosy about your past? Or is that just a me thing?
I think that's just a you thing, bud.
I wonder why.
Everyone has
I-
it at this table.
You deserve it.
I just noticed that every time we don't talk much, but he'll be nice to me one moment, and then he'll be really rude and snippy the next moment, and I don't really know how to process that. I'm just expecting a beating at some point, like when you both fought in the bar, and I guess I'll just take it. Usually that makes everybody happier. They just get it out, and then you're like, you know, whatever. But anyways, and I wasn't sure if it was just an isolated me thing, or if you also
Sorry.
if you experience this as well, because I feel like every time I mention something, he's always very quick to try to dig, and I don't know what I did to cause that. Well, I sort of know, but that doesn't make it his business.
I think that's just his personality.
I have to learn to say no.
Believe it or
I get really intimidated, and then I just start saying things, like word vomiting out of my mouth because I get scared.
not, he's not as much of an asshole as he seems. That's only sometimes. I think he's just trying to help with your story.
Well, I've been doing fine for the past 60 years. I need to make it 60 more.
And how many people have you talked to in the last 60 years?
But none. I just don't talk to people.
My point. But I don't think he's trying to be like that on purpose. I think that's just silliness. So just ignore it.
Stroking of my chin.
And
Like,
Oh,
wipe it on my white
the
pants.
flakes.
Because they're already white.
But that's so.
Well, thank you for your insight. I don't know. I get the sense that nobody here really tolerates me that much. Not sure what I did, but oh well. I suppose I should be used to it by now. Anyways, I'm going to go wash my face. Oh wait, yes.
If I didn't like you, I wouldn't be talking to you.
And I'm gonna.
And he's just like, when he said like because, the guy's just like, looks down at also purple skin, like.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna like go and just like wash my face in like a bowl of water.
I imagine he
Yeah,
has like
water
one of those
skin.
like fuzzy like headbands that like girls wear when they do their face routine. But
Yeah, I washed my face, and that's the only conversation I wanted to have. Oh, unless you wanted to say anything else, I don't know. That's
No,
all I
good
had to
night.
say.
God, gosh, what a mosquito still.
Alright, that comes to an end. Hope you wake up the following morning, ready for a third and final day of travel.
Keep sitting as we go.
I know, it always hits my butt.
So, who is leading the travel today?
Me. Me and Mila.
Alright, the two of you again, make a professional.
No, just me.
Just on, always on.
Yay! That's what's funny.
Hey.
17.
A relatively uneventful day of travel.
Or so.
That's concerning.
And that's when
Can
Ben
I,
starts
watch
collapsing.
from the back of
That's right, Sylvan, you should have been worried.
see if I see anything from the back. Nope.
6.
Well. 10.
Oh my god! The dragon that's like 3 months old.
No, not the worm.
Oh.
I have a question for you real quick. The two that came up to surprise you and take away the fallen person in the temple, you did not show them the poster, did you? I don't believe you did. Alright, just making sure.
She's just asking you to mess with her head.
Am I?
Yeah.
You tell
maybe
them
it was
this
a
is
good thing you
serious,
didn't
otherwise
show
it's
So, Pat, do you think I'm being serious if you know whether I'm being serious or not?
Yeah.
You think I'm being serious?
Yep.
Smart cookie.
It's the way your eyes.
We can see right through it.
I never going to be good at hiding what my intentions are, but regardless. So, from behind,
And his
you would see, much like the your first night out of Baldur's Gate, maybe like half a mile behind you, stalking in between two trees, it's like a wolf.
A druid?
I thought it was the big thing.
No, kind of like looking, kind of like looking at in the direction of your group and kind of like looking through the tree, and then it kind of like, yeah, kind of like gets low to the ground and kind of starts to move across the road. Before you would see just like an arrow kind of like strikes it in the side as it kind of stumbles forward, as it turns to growl, like another straight through one of the eyes, and kind of like gives like a howl that's immediately cut off by another arrow that of course spits out like it just kind of like cuts off and it just kind of like stumbles back a couple like steps before a fourth arrow just straight
Okay.
to the shoulders. It kind of like drops to the ground. You would see you're like a half elven figure in like a green cloak and like half of a face mask. With now a sheathed longbow on the back, arrows around the waist, kind of like walk up to the creature and kind of like pull kind of like pull the arrows out of it, kind of make sure it's dead, slit the throat, and then kind of like look up in the direction of your group, and upon seeing you like turning back to look at this, just kind of gives like a
Behind us?
yes. I should say yeah. Kai's the only one who notices. He kind of gives like a salute before kind of walks off into the trees again.
I'll just kind of do like a halfway. I love how she's like, there's a wolf. It gets shot by an arrow, and I was like, oh, relieved. The wolf is. Who shot the arrow?
Oh, that must have been. Looks up, all of your party's there, just like.
A hunter in the woods with game.
What?
What?
I said we're stuffing more.
Trots a little faster.
I could have sworn I left my undergarment.
So, you get to right about dinner time, and you're starting to notice some of the trees thin a bit. You're starting to be close to where the temple was, and also natural 20, right? You both kind of like look up, and maybe now a half mile away, you can see like a steady stream of smoke just kind of like rising up from the edge of the tree line.
Oh, do the rest of us not see that?
Not unless they make mention of it. From like the outside of the tree line.
I do, but I wouldn't really wait until the end of
Oh.
a good moment.
See, it's not gonna be bad about it. Just don't make any noises.
I learned my lesson.
But there's smoke coming from just outside the tree line.
Is the rest of the party waiting for us?
So they were going to.
Can we see it now?
It's probably just
What? Can we see it now?
Yes.
Is it like a campfire or like smoke? Like pillar?
Not like a pillar, like a very.
from a campfire.
Okay. Because there's like,
And not
I
the
know there's
burning
a
bodies
huge
of our
difference.
friends.
Like
So
gray smoke
I was
versus
going to say you all approach the tree line.
Is it between us and the temple?
Yes.
Maybe send a message out.
I would have to see the person or know the person.
Oh well, like if
Well, you can guess it, like-
yeah, be like, hey Rex.
Yeah.
If it hits Rex, it does. If it doesn't, then it's not good.
I'm gonna just expose in case before I do it.
What are you casting? You're just looking at your spells.
Message.
Message?
Yes.
Yes. Are you pointing in the direction of fire?
Yep.
And who are you sending it to?
That's why I was saying we're checking the spell to see if it said you have to see someone. Yeah, I would have to point to a creature within range. Or if it's for solid objects that are familiar with the creature.
Yes.
So,
Who are you picking?
yeah, I would say the only one I would think of be out guard outside the temple would be Brad. So I would be like, I would just like, hello, are you there?
No response.
And I would try second time would be
No response. Still moving forward?
Are you seeing this? No, I'm just saying, are you seeing this in character or?
No.
Okay,
Well,
good,
the best way to find out if he's willing to.
Yeah, probably.
As you make your way to the edge of the tree line, you eventually kind of peek out and look ahead, maybe like a quarter mile ahead is the temple. Moving to your right, you see a small cooking fire, pot over it, another pot off to the side, and a very familiar red-headed mage tending to the cooking fire. You see as the other one who is proficient with cook's utensils. That is correct.
Okay.
I was thinking knight, but I was like, if knight's there, awkward fire. I guess wrong.
But no, she's currently just working on some stuff. Doesn't even notice you, like, getting out.
We're back.
Oh! Hey, long time no see.
We're also being followed.
That's a great way to start a
Wow.
conversation.
Hey, might as well get it out there now. Be
Right.
on the guard.
Well, I don't know that anyone's really in a position to guard right now. You would notice she has like she normally doesn't wear like a lot of clothing. Her subclass calls for a lot more mobility than it does protection. But even her, she's down to wrappings and undergarments below. And she also is still like looks damp.
Oh, she's taking that. You said damp. I was like, how hot is it out? She's that sweaty.
That's it to say no. Everyone else is well, we spent the last like 6 days, investigating the temple and all that. So we decided to take today off because we figured it'd be our last day out here. So everybody else found a hot spring a little bit in. I'm just getting dinner ready.
Well,
Look at
Yeah, I just
Wait, hold on, can I do the list piece?
my eyes just flickered to Ash. Saw Ash staring at Audie, and I just flickered to Audie who was staring at Ash. I'm like, yep.
Bonnie and I love
But,
eyes or something.
Yeah, dinner's gonna be ready in maybe like an hour. So if you guys want to go hang out in the hot spring for an hour and say hi to everybody, you can. I'll just be out here.
Alright, well,
Sure.
just keep an eye out in case anything's a little sus.
Will do.
Yeah, a dry kill is something small.
That's gonna make things better.
And then I just like
A little
around the
dragon
general
told us.
direction she pointed.
Yes, his name was Talbot.
No, it was not.
Almond.
Oh, yes.
Talmud. Talbot.
His name was Almonds, and we loved him.
Listen, I was terrified, but he was quite nice.
I was going to say, Liz is the GM, knowing the thing that following you was a pack of wolves that just got punched in front of your own goddamn eyes.
But we
Yep.
we
I
didn't
thought
see
it was
that.
people.
Yeah.
Is that I was going to
Tell
say,
us.
Kai is also still terrified of the thing following you that he just watched got killed, but it's fine.
And we also don't know so that how that was.
I also didn't tell you that I saw anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I
We,
said
we
that
don't
first,
know.
and then said, and we also.
Oh,
Well,
But
anyways,
Night promises to keep extra safe watch.
Gooseberry, you make sure nothing bad happens.
So-
Gooseberry goes,
As we're walking to the hot spring, so like, I'm thinking about like, okay, how about some dragon valets?
That's too much mom energy.
I was about to say, the dragon like looks at you and like you can feel just like the...
That's how you
I think fish would be a great name.
fish.
I like that. It's cute. It's cute and straight to the point.
What do you think about
She
fish?
likes fish.
What color is she again?
She's
She's
white
silver and
blue.
blue.
Curry.
What?
Curry.
Sorry.
That's a little long-winded.
That was Eldritch.
Frost, not Faust.
Faust.
I was like, from that out.
Rhyme, like the rhyme.
So we could call her like Zell or Zelly for
It's definitely an option.
Zeldris. Z-E-L-D-R-I-S.
I don't know. She's just so. She's just cute.
We're just throwing out
Give her a
ideas.
fun,
Yeah, that's
cute
what I'm
name.
saying.
Even bad ones.
Let's talk about.
Let's call her Auger.
Mhm.
Auger. That's cool. It means.
Oh,
it's
I like the blue.
Yeah.
Oh, Azure.
Cauliflower.
That's cute.
I love that.
Cauliflower.
And that's the shade of blue she is, kind of. Ish.
Corny.
Oh my god.
And then still fought Kaigan.
Rivia.
Olivia?
Rivia.
Vivia.
I love how every time there's a
I'm
You have to say a total thing every time.
cauliflower.
You know, sometimes she's gonna blurt out something that wasn't the right word, but we're all gonna be like, yes!
Yes!
Popsicles!
I
We don't say it all the time.
I will say, at Rivia, it kind of turns to if you're interested and it's like, is that something you like?
Oh, yes, the white.
Or close to it? So Rivia is a good
White.
start.
Remember that?
Well, how about this? Would you want something that is more draconic or more...
One gift for draconic, 2 gifts for common.
That's
Three.
3.
Ah,
Elvish?
undercommon.
Elvish,
Very
maybe?
good.
Orcish.
Orcish.
Elvish?
I said it as a joke, but.
No, your first thing was Sylvan.
So, okay.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Oh.
Ooh. Hmm.
Sylvan.
Character, I have a Sylvan translator you can look at.
Oh, really?
We'll
Yeah, I don't know anything.
We'll
As you
rumble
all-
some ideas around in our brains.
As you begin to feel the humidity created by the hot springs,
Ooh, there's special hot spring music.
I like before Liz gets out like a third word, you're like, gross.
I just hate when it's humid.
Like 20 times.
I like to think that whenever it's humid,
You
Kai's hair
hear-
starts to frizz up.
This dragon's name is really important to me.
To all of us, you mean.
You hear
I'm so glad.
a harp being played.
Why do you look at me? You know I'm not playing.
You played the music, you're a bard.
Is it our Jingle Bell friend?
Can very well be. That is being played very peacefully, and then along with it, you also hear a voice sort of singing along to it as you all approach.
Plot twist, that's our Jingle Bell friend.
Well, we have
But
heard her voice.
as you arrive at the hot springs, you would notice Autumn sitting on top of everyone, dressed obviously down for hot springs. So if you ever wanted to get some good looks at your friends, here's your chance.
Like naked or like towel?
Like wrappings and undergarments.
Why are you looking at me like
Because you
that?
snickered.
You gave me
But
the Burger King
on
face.
top of one is the very, very small, petite, lithe form of Autumnalis. She's plucking the harp, and then next to her is the more muscular and well-defined form of Aqua, and she is singing.
Why are all these women in our party so beefy?
I
There's
don't
more
care.
muscles on the
I
women
mean, I was
in the
about to say,
party
I mean,
than the men.
to be fair, I feel like it's kind of like a byproduct of adventuring. You're kind of like, sort of like the body that life forced you
Alright,
into.
Fendian, put on your muscles.
Yeah, Fendian's
I was about to say, and it's not like characters like
You still responsible
characters
for
like
I
like
can use it
Autumn
whenever I
aren't
want.
necessarily
Oh,
beefy. She's
it's a
more like
warlock
a caster.
Yeah.
But I mean, like if somebody makes their living by swinging around like a 30-pound shield and a 20-pound sword, obviously like
I think you just like beefy
Who doesn't?
Why not?
it's like
coordinate all those
it's like
notes?
wow. It's really weird how like this person who works 65 hours a week as a contractor has muscles. Isn't that strange?
Look at this way.
I
Look
was
at,
making a
hey,
joke.
look at this way. Like, look compared to Isla versus Lilia. Huge difference in muscle size.
Yes.
Well, what is
Because one's a
it
paladin
about-
and one is a caster.
I know, I'm taking your joke and I'm making you fucking ass about it. It's fine.
Well, anyways, Fendian is going to retreat behind a tree and disguise himself more jacked than last time.
Oh my god!
Hoping
He has
nobody
veins popping out this time.
I'm like, ooh, sorry, I flexed and my new armor popped off.
His head is too small for the body.
He looks like a JoJo character.
You are,
Like a
I was
tan.
about to say, yeah, you are your muscles are about as big as Raktus are
I look like a
naturally.
JoJo
Oh my
character.
God.
You just look like Lara the
You have like a
Lobster.
10-pack.
Sorry.
Would he even have wrappings like that?
I mean, you wear them on your
Not
feet and
really,
arms.
because you are already wearing what a lot of people are currently in the hot springs
You
in.
wear like a napkin and pants. So.
You do.
A napkin and
Would I have like a towel?
Yeah, and you also would still have undergarments. You wouldn't just wear your pants like commando. Like you would have.
Oh, but it
undergarments.
would be
Your
so
outfit
comfortable.
is toilet paper dyed black wrapped around you, okay?
Listen, I feel like it's assumed we all have underwear.
Yes, but still, as we
I'm not
go
shocked.
on, everyone kind of like looks back at you, and you kind of get like some waves, and some people glad to see you back. Kat would come out of the water to see you specifically.
Oh, no.
You would be greeted once again with her surprisingly toned body. She is wearing just like a wrapping around her chest and then undergarments. You would once again get the images of her tattoos, the crest on the chest, and then the abyssal script wrapping around her leg.
Fuck, there's a pistol.
Oh, sorry, I forgot Fendian has a tattoo, which is one.
Oh, you know abyssal, don't you? Do you look at this
Read her
tattoo?
leg.
Oh, you don't get to hear it. He's getting it. Next.
Let's just him reading abyssal out loud.
Just Sylvanus, if you read Cat's leg, tell me what it says. I don't actually say that. You sound so disappointed. I just really want to know what it says.
I like skinny boys. I like the pretty boys. Skinny bitty boys.
What?
In a city boy.
All these characters have tattoos in languages I can't read.
Don't worry, mine's not a language, so everybody can read it. It's
Do you want to know? Too bad.
too bad. So
Later.
Say it's not a
I
language.
actually got really
so everyone
upset.
can read it.
Yeah, it's just a
No one
picture.
can read it.
So
It's
it's
not a
an
language.
tattoo.
Well, currently, since he's doing his smooth fake facade, it's just he's really fucking muscular.
It's like hidden in the folds of his biceps.
No, he just this form doesn't have it.
So, as we get ready for everyone to have a nice, relaxing time at the hot springs, we will take a quick break and then be back in. Since we started a little late tonight and we already had technical difficulties, we'll be back in about 10 minutes so that we can continue this session and hopefully get to everything we need to get to tonight. So,
Alright.
Stick with us. We'll see you all in 10 minutes, and bye! Welcome back! I hope they didn't hear that.
I'm sure they did.
They'll live. So, welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through that break. Yeah, want to get right back into it because we have a schedule to maintain tonight.
We do.
Just let me hit you with
Hit
that
us.
dank music so that we can enter in our computer passwords incorrectly and make this take longer. But yes, so all of you are now relaxing in the hot springs. If there are any RP conversations you would like to have while the entire party is
T takes
once
like
again
a very
present.
long moment looking at how everyone has other outfits and just kind of like takes off all of her clothes and has like a towel in front of herself until she gets to the water and then like tosses the towel behind her
I
and gets
still
in.
saw your butt though.
And makes even more of an effort not to let him see her leg.
Me? Oh, you know what? Fendi and DiGiorno looking at your...
Fendi and
Benny and
DiGiorno.
Bravo.
That's a JoJo name.
No. I'll say just for the humor of it, make another sleight of hand check and make another perception check.
I never made a
delivery.
perception check the first time. I just wasn't looking, but...
It's not delivery. It's
I
doubt it.
16 plus 7.
3 plus 4.
He comes
Sorry,
out from
sweaty,
under the
I
water.
read.
Have you seen this man?
Is Rax in the hot springs?
Yes.
Tell us.
Yes, Rax is.
I'm gonna flex
She
next to
just-
Rex. How's it go?
Your fake muscles pop.
She kind of like looks to you and kind of like reaches over and grabs one of your
No,
arms
I
and like
move
her
away.
moves away.
No, these goods aren't for sale, miss.
She kind of like looks at you like breaking into a smile and just goes, fair enough.
I think
Kinda
we
leans
are
back
wrestle
in.
competition.
She's just like, I wasn't
too.
shopping.
I'm down for that. Arm wrestling?
Oh my god.
No, I'm sore from traveling.
All you did was ride. You
I
used
know,
your
yeah, you carried the
arms.
Well,
horse
you
on your
see,
back.
I have tennis elbow, so I can't do it.
So we'll
sorry.
use the other one.
Tennis elbows. Well, I'm not a lefty, so it wouldn't be fair.
I'll just get
But
undressed
we'll make her use
and
her.
slide through the water.
Alright, I suppose.
What did you say?
They're gonna do a left-handed arm wrestling match.
Rax kind of like looks at you and then looks at the rest of you. I'm good.
See, she's tired as well.
It's no fun for the hunter if you cage the animal before you hunt it.
Alright. This is a thing I'm going to do right about now is when I'm going to grab T's left hand.
Some guy watching.
Yeah.
He dead fishes her.
That's a high move.
It's very limp, very
Okay.
gay wrestling.
I did it before.
Are you actually arm wrestling?
I will.
Yeah, but
Oh my god.
you don't have to roll. He's gonna fucking lose. I want him to lose. I don't want him to win.
I want him to lose.
You don't have to roll then. You literally you go to push and like there's no resistance there. Like a purposeful lack of resistance.
I told you my elbow hurt.
Wow.
She lets out a laugh and then she's like, alright.
A little limp there, Fendian.
And then we'll relax back into the water, forgetting she doesn't have a top on.
He wasn't looking. Don't worry. He's not a creep.
So you draw like an look from Rax and just almost like burying their head underwater look from Gab.
Ew.
Gab is the.
Why'd she bury her head under
No,
the
like-
Oh, okay. I was like, naughty.
Was it great? You're not supposed to put your head under the water in a hot spring? I don't know why.
No, like
No, that's a hot
staring
tub because
like
of the-
staring at the water, but the water's right here, so it's like really close.
Yeah, I'm maxing out relax and I'm like,
Chillax and all cool.
I'll compliment Autumn Alice on her harp playing 'cause it's very nice.
She kind of like looks over to you and just kind of like cocks her head to the side, giving like a little jingle.
Aw. She wears the bell in
What
the
are you looking
water.
at, T?
She does.
You never
She's
seen
kind
a
of like
strong
sitting on the
man
rocks too, so she as she plays, she's just kind of like kicking her feet in rhythm in the water. She looks like she's having a great time.
Physically,
How
not
high
mentally.
does the
That's
water
not.
go up to?
Probably about like, let's say maybe 4.5 feet.
Okay. I would get out my violin and just play along to the harp music.
Can't get it wet.
I feel like this is the equivalent when you're like on your phone, like in the pool or something, and you're trying not to drop it. Oh shit.
So, what did you guys just uncover? Anything else interesting while in the room?
Uncover. That was in character.
I was about to say, it's really nice that you sit here because from Cat. Come here. That's it.
Moves closer to Sylvan as if he's any safer.
I whispered, a couple.
But no, Aqua turns to you and it's just, well,
I can do it too.
a couple of things. It's just a lot of interesting stuff that's just really hard to process. There's not exactly much basis of research to go off of in this particular situation, and it was not thought like any of these even exist.
It's valid. Well.
So,
What
Do you
about
want
that?
to
Yes.
tell them about Oxford?
Oh yeah. You guys.
Oh yes.
Mom's alive. So is my sister, and they're coming home. The end.
like to Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right? I thought they were dead.
I'm very glad that they're not dead.
Same.
Their mom cooks good food.
Yes, she's very nice.
Always has.
Gab pipes up. Maybe you'll have to have her stop by like the suite sometime. She can like, we can all like cook together.
I don't see why not.
Oh, for like a nice gift thanksgiving meal.
Oh.
We also met a dragon twice, and it talked to us the second time.
Oh yeah.
He was nice.
And our wormling wants a name.
In Sylvan. So we have to whip up one. We gotta think of one.
It seems to like
Dictionary.
Revere a lot.
Like Riviera.
In a way, yes.
Rivera.
Elvira.
Gerald's a
Wow. Toss a coin to your bitcher, am I right?
Which one?
All right. Well,
Toss one to Sylvanus.
now that that's come full fucking circle,
Sylvanus kills me.
I feel like a fucking in a Brian Regan skit right now.
Like 3, I don't know. He's not in armor, so it's like 1, I don't know.
I don't have any good names.
We'll think of one later.
Sure.
I
think
came
of
up
one.
with like funny ones, but not actual names.
Also, I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna say Aqua speaks to you specifically. If she likes Rivia and she wants it in Sylvan, then we can probably come up with something close to that in Sylvan. So just give us a bit to research. I'm sure she'll be fine.
Yeah, I think we've been calling a wormling for a while now.
Yeah, probably not the best thing, but
They call
you
me
know.
baby. And small
she
child.
is a baby and small.
For comedy's sake, I want at some point Fendian to like get up and like he slips, and while he slips, he loses his concentration on his spell. And for a brief moment, it's like skinny, lanky Fendian, and then he's like, oh! So that is what's happening. Before I'm like, oh, I'm gonna swim around a little bit, and then I get, whoa, like banana peel. And then, shit! He says shit in undercom, and then he immediately recasts it. What was that? Wow, did anybody feel a breach in the weave?
Kai just starts like cracking up, and then he sinks down in the water, and it's just bubbling as he's laughing under the
See,
water.
I imagine laughed so hard that like she swallowed a bit of water because she was trying to stay lower, so now she's just like coughing like half out of the water, just dying.
I'm gonna cross my big beefy arms and I'm gonna drop it.
Bigger
Okay, well, you all knew that it was a ruse. I figured you were all just being polite. Here's my disgusting scarred body. Everybody get a good look at it.
My
Alright, we're over it.
My Sildar are all scars too. We all have them.
Alright, cool. Yeah, his like whole body is just like riddled with them and it looks gross. And he's all pumpy.
Kai just looks at her when she says we all have them, and he like looks around at everybody to see.
And he has a
I was about to say Rax.
circle
Rax
tattoo.
is a couple, just like your basic scars from being a knight and fighting and such. And then Rax would just like turn to you and kind of like look you up and down and just go, She might still have you beat. Kind of gesturing to Autumn.
Oh no.
no.
Autumn has just been like basically playing the whole time, but her body does not look scarred at all. But when Rack says something, she kind of like stops for a moment, kind of slides up out of the water, stands up, and kind of turns around, and you can see from about here on her shoulder blade to like almost like right below her left hip, kind of running diagonally across her back, is a scar that at either point is maybe about an inch wide, and then kind of grows to be about 3.5, 4 inches wide as it gets towards the center of her back, and just kind of like just that along her back. Before she kind of like turns.
With the world's biggest scar.
Let's say she kind of turns back around and sits back down again and just resumes playing. Doesn't seem bothered at all. Just chill, kind of happily playing.
Almost have a scar.
And he also has a full moon
Oh,
tattoo
shush,
on his
I know
knee.
You wouldn't want to destroy your perfectly smooth skin, would you?
Never.
It would be a shame if something happened to it.
Like poison.
So what the moon?
Careless whisper means fine.
Well, you see, when I came to Baulder's Gate, I had sort of a wild streak in me, and I wanted a wacky, zany tattoo. So I got drunk and I got a tattoo, and here it is.
Is it a what?
Did you get drunk and while wanting a tattoo, or was it?
I got drunk and then decided with my frat buddies it was a good idea. I don't have
Can
frat
I
friends.
insight check that?
Can I?
My frat
Roll an
buddies
insight
from
check.
the south and Waterdeep.
My frat buddies wanted me to get a belly button tattoo.
I imagine he's like
Of your belly button?
piercing. Ew.
Like a belly
15?
tattoo.
Oh,
of
I
your
guess
belly
I have to
button,
do
but on
a
the
separate
part of your butt.
check.
Like a third nipple, but artificial. Wow.
So
That's not
15
bad.
plus 6.
Hard to read. Hard to read.
Wow, that's the first.
He's just gonna be like, I got this one when I punched a wall. This one when I punched an X. This one
Tattoos?
when- No, her shoulder. Like all.
Oh!
She literally said like all of her shoulder are scars that she had.
That's cool.
She just starts like numbering them.
Like the crystals that are on her body.
Oh.
They're like cuts in her skin that radiate elemental and like light.
Mine are from not being a good boy.
Oh, that's this one. What? Maybe not count that.
You're good at being a girl.
Okay.
I don't,
I was about to say, from Cat, you just hear, join the club.
Oh, I knew Kat was gonna say something. I just knew it.
Thinking more of like a dirty joke.
it went right over his head.
I was about to say, as you say that in unison, Cat, Rax, and Aqua all simultaneously just like sigh, and Luna.
Oh wait, I have a D4. Sorry.
What are you rolling for?
1, 2, 3. I used my disguise self to disguise myself as Kai.
Oh, no.
So now I just look like Kai in the pool.
God damn it.
Hey Cat, how's it going? No.
Oh my god.
We're having a good bit of fun.
Cat like looks at you, and then because you don't sound like Kai,
Not
and
at
then
all.
looks at Kai, and then looks at you, and then looks at Kai, and just goes, that's one is enough.
I like to my violin
But
play
he
a
laughs.
funeral dirge for Kai because I can see he's slowly dying right next to me.
Yeah, he's just slowly sinking down. Just hair falling in front of his
And then I'm
face.
gonna turn into Sylvanus and be like, Kai?
No, you have to do it a bit deeper.
Kai?
There you go.
Bad. And then I'm gonna turn into T and just go. I'm just doing impressions of the group.
Arwen?
And I'll be Arwen, and I'm just gonna hide behind Arwen. And then like do like stabby motions.
Pretty good, pretty good.
I think I nailed it. Now you do me.
Did you do tea with her clothes on? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Oh, I thought you were making everybody naked.
No. That's just creepy.
I was gonna say, you're not gonna get all the details right.
I'm debating whether I want to use up a spell slot or not.
Do it.
Do
Will
it
it
for
be
the RP.
detrimental?
No.
Do it for the RP.
Yeah, do it. Do it for the fine.
I ain't gonna do it.
Do it for the
But
fine.
what wacky
I
version
can
of
give you a
Fendian
vine.
do we want to see?
There's only one, and he's already pretty fucking wacky.
Be Fendian, but like scrawnier.
Is that possible?
Well, disguise self, you can't really like make yourself taller, right?
You should be a tiny Fendian, it's fine.
I think you can give like a little bit of illusion of being taller, but not a lot.
It's like a
Make
foot.
his mustache like comically big.
I was about to say, I think I'm gonna make his hair gigantic.
Like a big bouffant.
Yes.
Alright.
Like,
I will cast Disguise Self on myself, and I will become a very grandiose, beautiful,
Like a caricature. of
like
Fendian.
drag queen Fendian.
yes. Oh, Fendian loves it. He's like, oh, good show, good show.
Autumn hasn't resumed playing her harp yet, so she kind of like turns and upon seeing you like silent like laugh so hard that she just like you hear like a gasp before she just falls into the water.
I think you might have killed her.
As she's laughing, Rax is just like shaking her head at you, and Luna's just like looking at you, kind of like looks you up and down, and just goes, "Ugh."
Same. No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not in the water yet. I just, like want to get in. So now
God,
that
don't
I'm
cast
in
shocking
not my
grass.
body, I'll go in and I'll just get like as close as I can to her. And make
To Luna.
Luna, yeah.
I don't like the word grasp anywhere near the sea.
She like kind of like shirks back a bit, but as you like, do you like try to like hug her, or
Yeah.
she's
Wait,
kind
are
of
you
like
still Fendian?
she kind of like is like this, and is just like, oh, this is not a turn on.
Fendian
Are you
says, like,
implying
words
I was
sweetie
before?
same.
This is quite
Uh,
interesting.
Face just
conversation.
goes bright red, and she's like, no, that's not the point.
I don't think she likes drow. It's alright.
Probably not. Who does?
I certainly don't.
This is becoming quite the conversation.
And I'm gonna turn back into me because I was still Arwen.
Oh.
Have you done that before? Like a routine of doing other people?
No, I just thought it'd be a good bit of fun.
I thought it was quite,
Oh,
quite
thank you.
entertaining.
Oh wait, hold on, let's see.
I didn't
You
like
say
it
it's
so
Fendian?
much.
I'll be one more person.
Okay.
Should I stay
Should I
as
be-
Fendian?
Someone that's not here.
I'll
someone
turn
that's
into
here.
Rain, but I'll make him look like a hillbilly.
Oh,
Oh shit! Who wants to join the guild?
In character.
that was very, very good.
I can't take a hit. And then I turn back into
I was to say, like, everyone is looking at you like slightly like either stages of confused and amused, but Aqua is literally like sitting on the rocks like pissing herself. Like literally. Yes, literally. No, she's laughing really hard. Like, why are you?
We're in the water, so it doesn't matter.
She's not in the water. She's not in the water. She's up on the rocks.
But it goes
she's,
over.
okay,
Anyway.
fine. I will take away the idioms and say laughing really, really hard because some
I know
people
what
are
you
super
mean.
fucking literal, I guess.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad she appreciates
But she is
it.
like cackling, and as she like kind of like gets her breath back, she just goes, "Sorry, I've arrested him a couple of times, so that was just really good feeling."
What are you doing this weekend? Arresting.
Oh, Fendian wipes a few
Do
straight
you stay as
tears.
Fendian, or do you?
No, I'll switch back.
Who
But
says
like,
that?
I'm
Aqua?
still in all of my clothes. because I
Aqua
did
said
not-
that she's arrested him a couple of times.
I'm still in all of my clothes.
You can't
because I
ever
didn't
tell
take
him that
them
I did
off.
that or he'll
Um,
kill me.
You are still close to Luna. Luna is still like bright red and trying
And
not
now
to
I
look
have
at you
to
in the
look up
eyes.
at her.
Oh my god.
Trying not to make eye contact.
You should just like
Just
wrap
trying
your
not to make
tails
eye
around
contact.
together.
Is that a problem?
Aww.
No.
I can't do it.
Fight me.
I don't know if Rat Tail's been like that.
I'm
Yeah,
mad at
they
him.
have,
I'm
like,
not confused.
Fight me.
What?
Said
I
the
grab
joke.
her on
I
the
had a really
neck
bad
and
one.
Make a
Dude, tell
contested
Sullivan.
strength check.
Oh, well, they're love wrestling. They love
Oh.
wrestling?
Oh no!
You like jump up and like wrap your arms around her to like dunk her underwater, but you just stay there. And she just like grabs like puts her one hand right here and puts the other hand just on your stomach and just
Uh-oh, Scarios.
Oh no!
Oh shit.
Oh no!
Sanctuary!
And if you look to your left, you'll see.
she's like she kind of like looks up at you and just like makes eye contact. She goes, "Funny enough, I used to do this with your little sister down at the river," and kind of and just throws you up in the air. You kind of get about 4 or 5 feet out of the water, just like flailing before just
Wait,
like
That belly
Luna
flop.
through Arwen.
That gotta hurt.
That yeeted you
I was
guys.
gonna say that too!
I'll come up. No, you know, I'll stay underwater. And
Is this when you're a kid that like pretends to be dead in the pool to see if like who notices?
no. I go in the water and I zoom back up and I pop up and I shake my hair in her face. Cause fuck you.
Wow, this reminds me of Position Zero.
Alright, you get Luna,
Yeah.
I get Rax. I'm gonna go over to Rax and like plank and go, throw me, please.
You sure about this, Fen?
Like a spear.
You sure?
Oh, let's see who can throw us the farthest.
I'm down.
What? No, we're not doing this.
Is the water.
How much do you weigh?
I don't, how much does he weigh?
130, soaking wet.
He weighs
That's me.
150 pounds.
All right, so that is a 22 on her strength check from Rax, as she just like kind of grabs you in the same position that that Luna grabbed Arwen in, and just you get about 8 or 9 feet out of the water,
Oh shoot!
I'm gonna go next.
and just kind of like you get at like 5, you're like, ooh, I'm as high as Arwen was, and then you kind of like double
Keep
that,
going.
and at that point you're like, all right, I'm about 10 feet out of the water. The water's only like 4 feet deep, and you just kind of.
You hear.
All right, so you Kingdom Hearts Goofy, and then
I like to. He has like the
Who do you
brown
want
version
to?
of Red Belly.
I'll go up to Rax. I also want to be thrown.
I'll just watch and be like, oof, mommy, please.
And
Launch me
I'm,
into the stratosphere.
140 pounds.
So she gets a 1.
it's a natural 20.
Oh, she just breaks you in
You're
half.
going, you're going directly to the top of the waterfall.
Make an acrobatics check.
Ooh, I want to do something cool if I don't fail.
Backflip.
I don't like that one. That hasn't been rolling good. Wait, what am I doing?
Acrobatics.
You got a 0
Get
for
a
that.
+1.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh.
That
Was it a 1?
Yeah.
I imagine I just like do like
This is bad.
spins in the air, like trying to be all cool, just belly
Well,
flop.
no, she like comes up to you and she's like, and she kind of like goes to her knees and kind of like puts like her hands like here and it's just like stand on them so that you can do like, cause she wants to do something cool. She's like, can you before you knew what your role was, she looks at you and just goes backflip or front flip.
Front.
So she throws you up and you do a front flip, but unfortunately you're moving forward, which is out of the water. So you manage to do a full front flip. You're about 12 feet in the air, and as you finish the front flip and look down, you realize I'm over the rocks. And you plummet 12 feet down, just boom,
Wouldn't that tell me?
pancake. Straight into the rock. You fall from 12 feet? No, but you do suffer
I don't know, I fell from.
Oh, now I have a
I'm
scar.
fine.
5 points of bludgeoning
Oh, only
damage.
5? Never mind.
And you now have a cut that may or may not scar right here on your shoulder.
Oh, you baby foot.
As you just went face first, just
It probably
Dude.
looks pretty bad.
I just imagine everybody's doing that.
Like, is he alive?
Is
No.
someone else gonna laugh so I can laugh? As soon as I hit, I was like, ah!
Oh.
Cat.
Rax-
He just doesn't get back up. He just lays
I was about
on
to say,
the rocks.
Rax just like looks back at you and just goes, maybe a backflip next time.
Kai, are you
Before it turns back around to everyone else.
gonna be okay?
Next.
Oh, your elbow cracked.
Yeah, it does.
Are you gonna be okay?
Someone's going to die.
He's just laying on the
Is
ground.
Luna
looking
gonna
up
tell
at the
me not
sky,
to?
just-
Luna like stops you and then goes,
Just like all the wind knocked out of him.
Probably
bitter
come
in
out
the
with water.
we
Help
both
you.
throw you at the same time.
You can eat me again, I don't care.
Alright.
I'm so
Rax,
lame. I'm
help.
so upset.
So they have like 1 foot on each hand. They are both. How much does Arwen weigh?
Like 110 pounds.
I've been doomed since the pomegranate.
101 pounds.
Make an acrobatics check.
Everyone that goes just gets lighter and lighter.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Acrobatics?
It's
Yes.
probably gonna be. She's great dex.
22.
So both of them launch you. You get about 5, 10, 15, 20 feet up in the air above everyone else. To the point where everyone's looking up and it's just like, you saw what just happened to Kai. What is happening now is about twice the height.
Is this legal?
No.
You come down, able to kind of do like 2 backflips before you hit the water, like fingers first. And as soon as you hit the water, you're able to just like immediately curve and just kind of like,
Like a lifeguard dive.
yeah, like right along the bottom
Like,
of
that's
the
how you become paralyzed.
right along like the bottom of the rock bed there before you pop back up and everyone is just kind of like,
Woo, Arwen, no pink belly.
Hooray.
Just me.
Guys, I lived.
oh,
I lived, bitch.
Alright,
while you're in the water.
Sylvanus?
Yes, say.
No.
No.
Pink belly.
No.
No.
I was about to say Rare kind of like swims right next to you. You sure you don't want to go?
No.
Your belly
Can I
flop
crawl
again?
back in and throw? I probably can't even lift you, but we'll go for it.
Are you actually
If we
attempting?
call it a swan
Yeah, I'm gonna
dive, will
attempt
you
to
be
lift
more
him up.
kind?
Like,
Alright, gets back in there. Make a contested strength check between Syl and Kai.
oh, don't use the dragon.
Okay.
Is it being nice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be worse.
Strength.
You
That's
wish.
a 16.
19 minus 1, 18.
You're not able to get him up, unfortunately, but the two of you have a very nice half-naked wrestling match.
Oh,
as
sexy.
Cat and pretty much like
I'm
Cat,
totally
Rax,
but
and Cat, Rax, Rare, and Gab are all just sort of like
Fenion's like, this is not my day. And he's like, oh my.
awkwardly looking at you naked wrestling, and they're just like
Like the
before you just hear from Rax just like, Cat, your boyfriend is, and you just hear, I know.
boyfriend.
But
Funny
without
words
any
on
further,
the
Rare would kind of get up next to you. So
Fuck, I
how was the
forgot
trip?
It was well. You stop. It went well.
That is good to hear. Glad to see you were all back in one piece. I was a little worried.
It was not going to be that bad. It was. I got to meet his family again, and they're coming back in some time. So
That's definitely good. Made a few interesting discoveries here, but seems like a lot more research is going to be needed to kind of pick up anything from this. It also was annoying with only 3 or 4 of us able to go down there at a time.
that is unfortunate, but
Me as a person, why?
it could have been much worse.
Very true. Unless anyone has anything further to say at this point, Rare kind of like comes out into the clearing and is just like, dinner's ready for whoever wants it.
Oh
Feed
boy!
me.
I run out in my skivvies to go get
I
them.
want to drown my
I'm
shame
no
in the
longer
hot
inhibited
springs.
by my flesh prism.
One
Oh, good
settles,
for you. Have confidence.
everyone settles down for a nice dinner and a bit of rest before departing the next morning. Is there anyone who will just do like one watch here? Anyone who'd like to take watch?
I'll take a watch.
I'll take a watch as well.
So 3 of you take the watch.
I'll die of embarrassment.
You just sleep. in
Just
hot
kidding.
springs.
He has no shame.
So, any reaction to she doesn't put her clothes back on until all of her clothes back on until after she eats, but any reaction to the cat sitting there, half naked, 6-pack, guns out?
Certainly a person.
Both guns out. Biceps and the big gun.
Yeah.
What?
Wouldn't it be 3 then? Each?
guess,
Listen, we don't need to argue
Semantics.
Yeah.
Just make a point of like sitting next to you and just being like, glad you got back safe. Any difficulties?
Just one.
Just like not looking at her.
Say kind of like looks back towards the hot spring. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, let's go with that.
To be fair, it was really impressive up until you hit the ground. The front flip was very well executed.
That tends to be my MO. Really impressive and then fuck. But
Well,
we'll make it up the stairs, but we'll fall in the hallway once we get there.
I mean, if you did that again, I wouldn't be totally opposed. I got a snuggle buddy for the night out of it, so. And a confession. So, I've had worse,
Shoves his mouth full of food.
had worse nights.
I lay flat on the ground. Look, who am I?
Ben, you are at a roll tonight.
Are you
Almost the victim?
Make perception checks, all 3 of you.
What?
They're keeping watch.
Oh, I don't get the
Did
roll.
Gad ask me about my tattoo?
What?
She can see, like, I'm not hiding this one, but it's in Primoto.
Yeah, she noticed it, but she hasn't made any mention of it yet.
I'm too busy being a funny guy. I got a 6 total.
On that.
I think your figurine's holding you in place.
What?
I think your figurine was holding you in place. 12.
Fairly quiet evening. I'm rolling very low on the encounter chart tonight, so
That's fine.
We don't have to know that.
lucky. But anyway, anything the 3 of you would like to talk about as you do watch, or we all talked out from the previous night?
I don't want to make a fool of myself anymore, so let's just...
Well, everyone else is kind of like going to bed at this point.
Do you have anything to say, or?
I don't know. We're best friends of the group. Have anything to say?
Why are you
Oh! Like, so also, it may or may not have to do with how I got my magic. Say that much. Interesting.
Would I know of any god or gods with the symbol of the moon?
No, I'm not a wizard. I made it perfectly clear I'm not a wizard.
If I know that.
Make a
Like,
religion
like
check.
out of character every time someone asks you, you say it differently.
Arcana. Sorry, I was looking for magic. I had a dumb moment.
Magic.
Religion.
Oh, religion. 17.
17? I do have a couple. Sehani Moonbow uses it. Sehani
Yeah,
Moonbow
he's feeling a little frisky.
uses
Why
a
not?
version of the moon.
What are you gonna? He's figuring like, what's he
Mistra
gonna
uses a
do?
version of the moon.
Doesn't give a shit.
Selyun uses a version of the moon. Shar uses a version of the moon. There's several different gods and goddesses that use depictions of the moon that come to the top of your head. Enough that like, if it was divinely given, you can't narrow it down to anyone specifically. You can narrow it down to maybe like a top 5 at best.
Yeah. So,
It's definitely not divinely given. He got it on his own accord.
moon, but it was gifted to you.
No, I got it myself.
How?
Yeah, somebody just paid a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
That's genuinely
Oh,
what
you
I did.
were saying
I was
from
going
your
to say
power.
you would actually you would have paid someone at Zenim to tattoo you. Funny enough,
Oh,
'cause there
okay.
is
Oh my
someone
God.
who does tattoos at Zenim. What? Good for there. It's the only person who does not have a specific job yet there. Gore already has a specific job. Sorry, Gore takes care of all the beasts and
Okay.
stuff.
Probably.
What?
No, but you were saying
I will
it's
also
related to how
have a
you
job.
got your powers, is what I mean.
It's just a religious symbol. That's what I meant.
Oh,
Sorry.
you are of the faith?
Yes.
Saloon?
Is
Char?
it Slytherin?
I don't know.
You don't know.
You should do it. Insight check.
I know, I was about to say insight.
check versus
Can
deception.
I insight that as well?
If you want, I don't give a shit.
Oh,
What'd you
that's a
want?
22.
Aw,
Which roll in deception?
18.
Wow, that's pretty good though.
Also 22.
Like,
He's
Bonnie
tested.
wants you guys to find out.
Yeah.
Seems fishy.
Hey, he worked at the fishery.
Yeah.
Why?
Full circle.
Why lie about it?
Lying. If
Just not
you
telling
knew anything about her, she's sort of the goddess of secrets. She just picks somebody who's really bad at people.
At that point,
Do I know anything about this god?
Yes.
Yes.
What? Char?
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. Namely, just because she is considered one of the gods of the evil domains. So it's not widely taught about. And also, you in your specific position actually would know that she is considered you have Mistra, and Mistra is best buddies with Selyun, and Mistra and Selyun are both considered mortal enemies of Shar.
so we can confirm it's Char.
What?
So we can confirm it's Char.
Yes.
Then,
Shar
if
is
it-
sort of considered like a goddess of magic, but kind of like a more evil, twisted goddess of
well,
magic.
because it is Char Day you worship, I have one thing to say about that. I don't really care
Oh,
who you worship.
She's actually very nice.
I don't like Mistra much at all, so if
Oh. Yes, you do.
I'm not religious.
Oh, alright, great then. Alright, fine. I thought. Alright.
no, it's my
My
sister
town
that.
has a temple, but doesn't mean I'm a member.
Oh, I thought you guys were going to like kill me or something.
No.
What did?
Over a
Can you-
different
can you-
god or goddess.
Can you repeat what you just said about Mistra? You said you don't.
She smells like shit.
I said I don't like her very much.
In the
Uh-oh,
back of,
sneaky.
and as you say that, in the back of your head, you would just hear.
Uh-oh. Takes
Yeah,
away your
yeah,
burning powers.
Why do y'all have all the goddesses in your head? What the fuck? I don't have any goddesses in my head.
They're Blood and Catty.
Maybe Cat is the next one.
Well, anyways, yes, she's the goddess I do stuff for. I'm supposed to be doing something for her. She's again, goddess of secrets. Don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I just have a thing.
So she just gave you power, or well, you got power from her, and she just said, "Go off and soar."
Sort of, but I have to give Baxi's favor for her.
Is there
And
some?
that would be.
I don't know. Kind of know.
What do you mean by you kind of know? Is there something?
She gave me a thing. I'm supposed to find like these little stones to put in it. Doesn't help that everybody's
Whoa,
getting
whoa,
these
wait.
getting these things to put stones in,
Wait,
and they're all the same shape.
Whoa,
How
whoa,
how am I supposed to know?
Ben, please, for the love of God's real and imagined.
Wait, you have one of these fuckery things
No,
and
no,
she
no,
likes
no.
points to his
No.
heart.
Thanks.
No, I don't have one of those, but they all have like similar shapes, and I don't really know. Maybe they're intertwined, but
Okay, is it like shapes like the one in mine or the ones that Aaron has?
Aren't they both moon shapes? Both the weapons?
Yes.
But I think hers are different slightly.
Nope, same ones.
Okay.
Doesn't the
Same
moon
shape.
only
I
have
accept,
8
I accept
shapes?
last session I was so different.
Circle,
Oh,
not
no,
circle.
they're-
okay.
Double circle.
My confusion.
I'm
So-
not awake. I can't say anything.
So, you're looking for the stones itself,
Yes.
but you don't have the object. So you're
I
just
have
looking
the
for
object that the stones go into.
What is it?
This was like a thing.
Yeah, I thought mine was just a harp, but then
Oh, it's definitely not a weapon. It's just like a stone thingy.
In your head, you hear the voice of a very familiar
Uh-oh,
woman.
uh-oh. It's not a stone. No, I'm sorry. He says that out loud. I'm waiting for her to respond.
She hasn't said anything yet.
do you want to stop?
No, it's just like you. So she says this before you say anything because obviously, like, you can't like feel.
Yeah.
It's not like a
His sorry is after whatever she says.
dial tone. You would just hear it in your head. It's not a weapon. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is it like is this a little secret? Are you tricky? I'm not tricky, but is this an instrument of fate?
It's like, yeah, out loud.
Saying that out loud.
It is
Just a moment of like solitude, like.
a way for you to access one of the
It's mine.
instruments.
Is in my head. It's great grandmama's sword. That one that this needs to with that to put together
No,
with which.
the sword is something separate, but
Oh.
you will eventually, after I am able to locate the things that you need and send you to get them, you will be able to access a specific part of the world that will have a variety of important things to meet in it.
You see Penny and Shrek facing.
What does that mean?
One of the things that you will gather is an instrument of fate that will be yours and yours alone, able to be wielded by none other, and that will be a tool that you will write my history with.
Ooh, okay. Penny and sorry, Audie's excited. Penny and scared, but like a little excited.
Is that all?
Yes.
Okay. Fen, are you okay?
Yes, sorry, I'm just having a conversation.
With who?
Oh, sorry. We talk every now and then. She's very nice.
So, do you have one of these thingies?
No. I can genuinely say I do not have an instrument of fate. She cleared that up for me. She was listening.
But could possibly, because it might use the same stones, we could possibly use the ritual I know to identify it.
You would know the stone shapes look nothing like
Oh, okay.
I know those ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
never
you
mind.
would know. It looks like two crescent moons and one full moon stone shape on the weapons, and for yours, it
I
is
have
just
like
like
all
it
the
is.
phases.
It is. Yeah, it is all the faces of the moon going around,
Okay, never mind. You just left.
Wow.
and is also like not nearly as detailed.
Okay.
Because theirs look like, if like, how like when you have the diamonds are cut like.
Like very specific facets.
Yeah, and it kind of like cut to like in like very like small angles to make it like shimmer and all that stuff. Theirs look like their gems are probably like the stones they put in are probably
Okay,
going to like
okay.
shimmer like that, where yours are just smooth and flat.
Okay, that makes sense. Because genuinely, me, I was like, how the fuck is he gonna know the difference? Now I know
No,
the
they look very different. Also,
Okay.
theirs are about this size, and the spots
the
on
tab was
yours,
pretty
the
heavy.
spots on yours is about that size.
Alright, never mind.
So.
That'll be pretty easy to figure out. Sorry, I forgot. I just put it in my bag and never looked at it, honestly.
Can we see it?
I guess. And
Do you know where any of these stones are?
she's in the process of finding them. I'm assuming they're hidden. I had to go to some weird little old rundown house, and I just pull out it's just like a really big like I don't know, like big donut, but like flat, and it's like made. It's like it's 21 pounds. I remember that.
Okay.
And it's like made of like a cermet. It's like not stone, but it's not like it's like made of like some sort of material that Fendi didn't know what it was.
Ceramic?
No. But it has like really big facets for the moon in it. He's like, we got this, I don't know, how many weeks have gone by in the campaign? Like 3?
3 or 4.
So they got it about a month ago.
Before you met us.
Yes.
How long before you met us?
What?
How long before you met us? Like a day before you met us? A week?
Same day, actually.
Same day?
It was the day that before I went to Barnes. Sorry. Audie, me is getting confused
No,
with the time.
yeah, no problem.
So yeah, it was the day before that we met.
Okay. So,
I don't really know much, but I can't really use much of my powers until I do more things for her. So I figured, in order to do other things that I need to get done, doing Shar's will get me there.
So is that why you have all these different stories? So you can hide the fact of that?
Sort of. Let's just say, the less you know about me and the more confused you are about me, the safer it is for you. So I'm not a complete bumbling idiot, even though I don't want to give myself too much credit, sometimes I am. But I'm not trying to give myself too much credit, but the less you know about me, the safer you will be.
Oh no, he's
Wow.
self-aware.
Are you a spy for Waterdeep?
No,
Then you're no danger.
no, I'm not a spy. I'm not dangerous. There's just people who don't like me who are dangerous.
You,
They have
Yes.
review books.
Fen, please. We have the Black Form as a prom. We have the Gill as a prom. As you did your wonderful impression of Rain, we have Rain as a prom, and among just the other fuckery. But
Can you please put them back?
you could tell us. I mean, the more if we know what threats may be coming, the better we can
Okay,
protect one.
I was
alright,
going to ask you to put
fine.
them back.
It has to. Let's just say that there's a certain note that a certain drow recovered. That's me. I'm the drow. Well, we were in the sewers, and it related directly to me.
Okay.
Sort of. The person that signed the note.
Like how directly related to you.
Like, I don't know. Like you should see me or something.
Mother, sister, daughter,
Ew, no children, no.
grandmother, cousin.
Father, brother.
It's a woman's name.
Oh, you never know.
Chico.
Daughter?
No, I said ew. Ew, gross. I'm never having kids. I don't want
Grandmother?
Yes, unfortunately, it's crazy.
Dawn is beginning to
Oh.
make its way up over the
Ooh,
horizon.
well, I guess we'll have
as-
to talk about that later. It looks
It's
like it's time to
The
go.
one that is causing all the mayhem.
I guess you guys should. Anyways, I think it's time for us to get going.
Fen, I know it might not sound like anything, but
Come on, whispering.
I can offer you help with any of this.
Appreciate it.
Everyone
I don't
begins
want
to
you
come
get-
to consciousness.
Good morning, everybody. We're all
As,
safe.
as the group wakes up, it is dawn, day is yours. I'm traveling back.
Yep.
What pace? Fast pace? Medium
Fast.
pace? Fast?
Moderate? Like, medium and
You
fast?
can certainly ride your horse at a medium pace.
Yeah, I would just say normal.
Okay, that works. Oh,
Same.
A light jog.
As the stolen horses. That's
Yeah, you're carrying your horse with your big muscles.
This one, right?
slightly more active than that one.
This is a lot of information.
I love like horse dolphins.
But as you all make your way back, similar sights as you make your way back, with some hunters off in the distance, a couple of monsters off in the distance. Thankfully, though, god damn it, nothing seems to be approaching you very much. It's the pain of using the couch tables. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You're able to get most of the way back. You kind of just see like the faintest outline on the horizon, maybe a couple miles away, as night begins to fall off the bridge. But you can certainly always camp out again for one last night. Should we hurry? I was going to say, you would notice that, like, as the sun starts to get lower in the sky, you kind of, those of you who are on watch, begin to notice more and more activity around you, and you are close enough to the what is the name of that? You're close enough to the forest whose name's fucking escaping me for some reason. Near Baulder's Gate, you could easily find like a decent place to set up camp should you wish.
Should we hurry to the city or in the
The last time we were just outside of the city.
Where the fast
What?
food?
I would say heading towards the city, you're probably still about, because you are like at the top of a hill, just like barely seeing like some glittering of lights in the distance. I'd say you're probably still about 4 or 5 hours out. If you'd have to push well past dusk, and potentially incurring exhaustion by the time you hit the city.
How about we just put the vote? I vote we just go on the route.
Some of the
What's your vote?
let's say some of the NPCs are a little torn about it. Aqua kind of speaks up and she goes, I mean, I don't know about you, but the horses seem pretty tired, and I could certainly use a nice rest as well, if I'm being honest. But it is ultimately up to you all. You are gracious enough to allow us to come along, so we're certainly not may say any orders.
I'm actually sitting the last time the business cycle just gave me an endless thought.
Especially when we're about to get around here. I'd rather not stop.
You, Owen.
I think we can just hang out here. I mean,
Good amount to stay. And then people saying about it, we should just stay. I feel like that's the majority of the group vote. What about Sylvanus?
Apparently, stay outside. Because what if we come back and things get nasty with rain and all that, and we have to deal with like crazy stuff?
True.
Well,
Or
that's
what
good.
if we can avoid that fight if we come back to them?
It seems like the majority wants to stay, so I'll go with what the most group wants.
Set up a double watch.
Alright, so staying up, both the twins will offer to stay up, as well as Gab. If any PCs would like to stay up as well.
I want to say watch.
I'm sleeping. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll sleep, because he was up for most of the watch last time, so
Yeah.
he's quite tired.
So the six of you kind of like trading off. Some of you just like taking naps throughout the night,
Nice roll.
but yeah, go for it.
Ooh,
14. 20. Unnatural.
22.
8.
Rather quiet for most of the beginning parts of the night. Just any conversations that you would like to have with any of the 3 PCs that are up, or the 3 NPCs. You have both Twins and Gab available too as well. If there's any conversations you would like to have happen.
I'm gonna hang out with but I don't know what it's.
Just kind of like, we don't have to RP it out, but she would just kind of like talk to you just about menial stuff, and then if you were like offered to like play cards with her, it's fine with you.
So what are you two going to report back?
Kind of like look at each other, or Knight kind of turns back to you. Well, temples to the Ferox gods apparently exist, so that's certainly a new one. There's not really anything to recover, but I mean, just with the murals and everything that's down there, it's probably enough to publish an entire set of encyclopedias just in and of itself. Quebec was a very unique temple, and report that it was guild activity that was causing the lights, and that based on what your experiences were, from what I remember you telling me of the cave that you went to, there appears to be a nasty habit for members of the guild and members of that other organization, the Black Rose, relying on abyssal entities. So, that's about all there is to report back, I think.
Are you going to make mention of some of these weapons of fate being out there?
Possibly, not officially. There might be a certain gnome that'll want to talk to you about that, but that would be about it. He studies into those sorts of things. I believe you read some of his literature that he published on it, that Colette gave you when you were up in the library.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. I'm actually fond of him when I'm not cleaning up messes.
That was about as good of a first impression as any, I do believe.
But wow,
Sorry, in a mood
you're
tonight.
in a mood tonight. But
Man, can't wait to start drinking after this ends.
but and are you just reporting this to the council?
We don't necessarily directly report directly to the council. We report to one of the members of the council who
That's in charge of the cat.
yeah. The rest of them the word that Brian likes to use again night, and it's just like willful ignorance. But we report to Brienne. I believe you know Finn's mom. We do. That's just still name. Other than that, we just probably talk about it to the other prefects that are there. You have Draxus, you have Amaranthine, and then oh god, who's that new spirit healer? Elf boy. It's kind of like no, the elf boy was the last one. This one is the this one's the half elf girl. And she's like, oh yeah, that's right. I forget what her name is, but we'll probably talk to her about it too. Prefects don't, unfortunately, tend to last super long at the academy. They usually get sent out on the most dangerous missions. It's actually how we got appointed.
Do you know where they came from? Like, are they from the city itself? New recruits?
I think the Amaranthine is from Baldur's Gate. Draxon is from, I think, Silvermoon originally.
That's quite a distance.
New Girl might be from Neverwinter, I think. Everyone's relatively new. We've been prefects for about 8 months, along with Amaranthine, and the only reason we got promoted is because they sent all 5 prefects on a pretty dangerous mission, and all of them got slaughtered, so...
Oh joy.
It's a dangerous job. You kind of expect with every mission not to potentially come back. That's why we,
Get these jobs.
actually at this point she's kind of like blushing a bit, and she's like, no. Agree to go on every job together, because if something happened to one of us, not the other, I wouldn't want that.
I apologize for bringing up any.
No, it's fine. It's just I can't imagine a world where... And it just kind of stops. I'm just kind of like looking at her with like twins, but like with big sister eyes, just kind of being like, what are feelings? Which is not.
What are you going to tell them about the 2 mass individuals? Or bring that up at all?
Sorry. What?
Is that not the dragon?
No.
Oh, it was the same exact
Buff-
sound.
Out of character for 1 second, sorry. Buffalo Wild Wings doesn't have corn dogs anymore.
Oh, it's okay.
Do we want anything else to replace that with or no?
Fries.
Fries?
Oh, no big deal.
Alright.
Important stuff.
Yeah, back in the character. It's my birthday. I can cry if I want to. It's my birthday. I'll eat wings if I want to. But anyway, it just kind of turns back to me. Just would you? Specifically.
About the mass individual. Is it bringing it up or not? And what are they going to say?
Maybe, but I mean, Black Rose is something that's been kind of hanging around for a while now, so it's weird. Sometimes it almost seems like they're like sort of like the parent organization of the guild, and other times it just seems like they want to watch it burn. So
I mean, they mentioned if I ever went to meet them again, never went to.
that's interesting.
I also know one of them has one of the weapons of fate.
That's slightly more concerning, but that one we might figure out.
And lastly, are you to make any mention of our group? I know some of your group don't like having their attention while others do.
We'll talk you up a fair amount. Just, I know you've already received offers from some of the council in particular, so I'll let you hash that out more than us interfere. But if you never need our help with anything, you know where to find us. I'd be interested to find if you find any more of those temples around.
In the span of 1 week, I have met 2 ancient dragons, a temple, another land possibly, and that's just the last 7 days. So we'll see.
Question for you real quick though.
Sure.
So, Sylvanus Nightingale, that is you travel by your real name, right? You don't go by like a fake name like a lot of people do that are running some stuff. Agna is my real name.
Yes, I have. So if I go by a fake name and these papers of my actual name, it's going to cause some distress, especially if the districts that I tend to frequent.
Yeah. But so you're saying Nightingale is your last name?
It's what my papers say. It's what my name is. It's what the symbol that I wear.
Is there any other families up in Waterdeep with that name? Or just yours?
What happened?
Like, of course, I came from a family.
Well, no, but like is there just one like the Nightingale family of Waterdeep?
Yeah. I am not tooting my own horn or bragging, but we are one of, if not the largest family there.
Interesting. Alright, just curious.
Why? That's not something you just asked out of curiosity.
A couple of things in some trading records recently that just seem odd, but
Can I know? It involves my family.
we'll probably bring you in to look things over once we get back and settled in. It's something that I'd rather you look at in person.
I already have a trading book, so if it's something really bad, just go out and say it.
No, like actually, I'm gonna need you to look at it. We're not merchants. We can't make eyes or ears of what the manifest actually says that it's doing.
You didn't ask other merchants?
Well, we did, but it's written in some sort of code. I thought since it's attached to your name, you might be able to figure out some. We'll figure it out when we get there. With that, tea.
I just imagine I'd get bored at some point and wander over to Gab.
Yeah, it's currently playing cards with Arwen. You notice at one point I don't know if you'd let her win with this or not, but kind of playing cards, and she appears to be about to lose a hand. Not playing for money or anything, but she's like, oh, is that a unicorn? And if you turn around, she just kind of quickly like spins her focus as the cards fly around her, and just like kind of grabs them into the air and just plays it quick, and she goes, oh, looks like I won.
Wow, I didn't do that. Looks like you did. Congratulations.
Thanks, I tried really hard.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank
You
you.
want to play again?
Absolutely.
Can you beat me again?
You might win this time.
Maybe, I
I'm gonna raise your
don't
focus.
know. Look at that.
But T, coming up upon seeing that.
I just imagine I was gotten bored, so I'll like flop down the ground behind her at the sideways. So, enjoy the research.
Yeah, it was interesting. I never knew that Ferox had an organized religion like that.
Most people don't know things about the races that they look down upon. Not that you do, but the general populace does.
I was to say, she's literally Ganassi saying this to a Ganassi.
I know.
I mean,
You
yeah,
know
that's...
that Miss passes as an elf?
She doesn't. Her sister does. She doesn't.
Well, that was her whole thing, is that she would look at elf.
No, that's Colette.
Oh,
Colette. I was about to say Colette dyes her hair even, and like kind of applies makeup fairly liberally. Gab makes a point of having her hair be like the really like light blue that is not natural to humans or elves. And there's always like a faint blue tint to her skin, and there's always like a faint breeze coming off of her.
Oh, I thought she was going with like the moon elf.
No, she does not hide the fact she is half Ganassi.
Well, that's good to know, because I
Yes.
misinterpreted.
No, it's Colette that does it, but Colette mainly does it because of where she works. Yeah, I mean, people are, I don't know, substitute meanness for misunderstanding, I feel like a lot of the times. And, would rather just be mean than actually learn.
Anger for breath.
What?
Anger for breath.
true. But not everybody's like that. You meet some good people too. Kind of like gestures around all of your allies that are sleeping. Then you wind up with situations like this. Very odd assortment of individuals.
Didn't realize this was a thing that could happen, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's all about the, as my sister always saying, family you choose. So you don't necessarily have, my sister always did say that too.
I know. I'm just finding it a really fun irony.
I mean, as far as actual family goes, for an air about all we have left of that, so I don't know if you have any family members that are tied by blood, but did you? Oh, that's right, you told me, so I'm really happy that you're able to find them. Can't wait to meet your mom and your little sister. Little sisters are typically the best. She's talking herself up because she's a little sister.
Huh?
She's talking her up because she's a little sister. She's Colette's little sister. That's alright if not. I mean, it's not like Colette and I have any aunts, uncles, or parents to speak of, so.
She shrugs. She doesn't.
Fair enough. Well, maybe when we get back to the tavern, have a couple drinks and you can tell me more stuff.
Perhaps.
I kind of like that the first time. Being drunk is fun.
When you're young, as you start to get older, it doesn't feel as nice the next morning.
Yeah, I can tell. I didn't expect you to pass out after that few drinks.
I more so put myself to sleep. I wanted to be able to make it to my bed. Not like some people should glance cast in your direction.
Sure, he's
While he's asleep. Oh.
His soul is staring at you.
seemed to work out for him though in the end. I mean, he's got I don't know. It's kind of funny in a way that Aqua kind of like sits down with you and just goes,
Oh, you hurt your hands up with a girl.
well, no, it's just like very funny. Honestly, it's the way that he looks at her is just I don't know. It's cute. It's like the way like a newborn wolf looks at their first full moon.
I gotta do me dirty like that.
They're literally complimenting and saying cute things about you.
You're doing me dirty, huh?
I'm not cute. I'm tough.
Look at those biceps.
Great.
That may not work out as everyone has been trying to.
No?
Kat has expressed, and Kai has sort of expressed that he's not sure.
Well, hopefully he knows what he's doing. I wouldn't want to see. We've known Kat for a while now, so she's a really good person. And deep down, just sometimes life deals you a really shitty hand, and you just kind of gotta play it the best you can.
I hear that.
And kind of like still half focusing on the game to Arwen, or she kind of like spins the thing again, grabs another card and throws it down. We can just make a hand. I won again. Yeah. But except this time directly in front of your face.
I'm gonna pick the card up and I'll flick it back at her.
As you go to flick it, it just kind of like shatters. Just kind of just like is cackling.
Whoa, look at that. The card's gone. She didn't win after all.
Sometimes you just gotta make the best thing you can. Can't be all born into royalty or whatever have you. Or sometimes when you're born into royalty, it can actually be even worse. I mean, like a cat. Or Syl, I imagine. Looks over at Syl awake, like a tree pretty far away.
What do you mean by like a cat?
I mean,
She doesn't know. She tried pressing her for it, and that's when the shit between her and Kai happened.
Oh.
Yep.
He really couldn't pick out context clues. Oh.
Well, I mean, she was born among Baulder's nobility, but obviously, even though quite a decent number of people don't mind who she is as a person, when it comes to nobility and extending lines and lineage and all that bullshit, sometimes stuff like that matters, and she kind of had to distance herself from that before she could live as she was, and sometimes people don't appreciate that. So when you do that, the kind of gilded gold that you have that surrounds your life sort of becomes more of a cage than a mansion. The only thing that's gilded is the bars that are keeping you in.
Is it that much worse than not having?
I don't know. At least the way that Colette and I have been living, at least there's not like those expectations that you have to meet and everything. 'Cause I mean, I don't know. I've screwed up my fair share, but when I screw up, it's just really on me. It's not like I'm letting everybody down. It's kind of like give the weight of, I'm sure there's bad things no matter where you go, honestly. It's kind of like you have all your necessities met, but you have also the weight of expectation on your shoulders from people who you don't even know.
At least you know where you came from.
That's true, but you also know where you're going. Know where you're being forced to go. You lacked freedom. You trade. I'm assuming you had a fairly similar upbringing to Colette and I, so I will say that we had a lot of freedom and lacked.
You knew your parents, didn't
Can you not?
you? You knew your parents, didn't you?
No, we didn't. But we had a lot of freedom, and we lacked comfort and
Bless you.
stability. But if you look at someone like Kat or someone like Syl, I'm sure, or like Yax, you have a lot of comfort and stability and knowledge of where you came from, but you also have a very narrow route in where you're being forced to go and what you are expected to become. And if you would like to do anything other than that, tough shit.
At least you knew you wanted.
I always knew I was wanted. I always had my sister. I'm pretty sure you know you wanted as well. There's people around here wanting to go around. I think you're pretty okay.
I mean, now.
Well,
Not.
you can lament on the past all you want, but if you lament on it too much, you're gonna miss what's in front of you. Is what's in front of you right now really all that bad?
I haven't been in those situations, but I've also been in them.
That's fair.
And
Thank
the
God.
wrong people I'm missing. I want to get back to.
The man on your poster.
Among some others.
Lover.
Just shrugs.
Add that to the list of things that we're drinking about later. Well, I hope you find them. Or are reunited if you already know where they are.
As do I.
And with that, night ends. Come to the next morning. What would you all like to do?
Go home.
I love, like, still 20 feet away, proceeds to talk about. It's like, I'm awake, guys. I'm right here.
You all are heading back into town.
It's not burning down, is it?
Bridge appears to be fine as you get to the bridge, at the very least.
No carriage destroyed?
Doesn't appear to be.
Is there anything out of the boat? Is that in the mist?
As you are crossing the bridge, make a perception check. Whoever would like to make a perception check.
I'm gonna do it.
lovely. Bloody.
Oh,
Oh, that was almost.
15.
15.
Hey.
12.
Unnatural 20.
21.
Hey.
Everything appears to be fine, though as you get about halfway across the bridge, standing outside of Zenim is Gwen, Thea, and Val looking fairly concerned. Kind of like looking off towards the dust town a little bit, kind of like grimace expressions before one of them finally Thea finally turns on and kind of spots all of you and just kind of like waves you off.
I guess I think we'll all remove our horses and such
They're
over.
all excited to see us. They must have missed us.
You would also, the town is like, despite it being, it's just about dawn right now, and it is quiet.
Oh. Okay,
Like
that's
not
shady.
not a lot of people out yet. Like significantly less people than usual out right now.
What seems to be the problem?
Alright, so
Who's speaking?
this is Thea. It might be nothing. We're just maybe being worrywarts. She kind of turns on to the other two and just kind of like shoot her a look. But so we had Colette here last night, and she arrived with some companions, some who we knew, such as, make sure I have my notes in front of me. There were some people that I didn't particularly recognize, though you were saying, and Gwen kind of chips in, I swear one of them looks like the prince's escort. The tiefling that was in the Ari. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're going to have to back that up. Sorry, I'm really tired right now.
No problem.
So, I didn't quite recognize any of them. Some of them had this odd-looking monk garb on. A few more of them, there were these two drow. And finally, there was the tiefling that traveled with the princess. Yes. The princess's escort, but I did not see the princess anywhere.
The drow has like white and purple hair and white and red.
Yes.
Oh, okay, they're good. Alright, good.
Oh, I
Is
know
there a
it's
short
only
guy with brown hair?
Yes, I believe so. Man with a bow. Half elf boy with a bow. Short brown bow, or short brown hair. Nope.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the prince.
She wears all white.
For
Prince
some reason, I
half
thought
elf.
it was human.
No, half elf.
I'm tired.
I know it's just a
Alright, got
very
you.
small
No worries.
matter, but he prefers to be called Prince.
Kind of like looks genuinely really confused.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Are you referring to... I know the tiefling is normally in the presence of Princess Fiona,
Prince
but
Finn.
Don't out people when they don't expect it.
Oh,
I don't think that's exactly super common knowledge.
He's been saying out loud to everyone.
okay.
They're not the
So
same
that
as
was,
another
and they all kind of like looked at each other and it's like, that makes sense now. We hadn't heard. Apologies. But yes, so she said, Colette arrived and said that she was here for a meeting of sorts, and wanted to use our shop just as a neutral safe space to be. We've done a whole lot of work with Colette over the years, so we agreed. But then that, what is his name, sometimes drops by to ask for the odd things, and that was Stevens. Rain. Tiefling. Blue.
Yes.
Yeah, showed up, sweating, looked like he had been crying, he looked panicked about something, and after some hushed words, they ran off towards Dusttown, and Colette was saying something about her and Gab's house, and he points to Gab, and Gab was like, my Gab. There's also been more than a few guild members kind of lurking around in the early hours of the morning, which is why everyone's still staying in, and specifically from our sake, my brother, Soul, who believe he passed us on the road on the way out, as well as our botanist, Lorcan, and our, call her an arcanist, Anna, went along with the group of them. So if you could find where exactly they are, that would be appreciated. I'm sure you're probably also looking for your friend or sister as well.
You said they were going to killing you?
Yes, based on something that Rain said.
Well, fire into a larger fire. Just get going there. Yeah.
Same. Oh, we're on horses too, so we're fast.
So it's going out there to help? Good thing, immensely. Of course you're going.
So, you ride for about 5 minutes until, as you get to the other end of the bridge, you look up into Dust Town and kind of like recognize the direction of Gav's house. Who is in front?
I think I do. Yeah, I do have a question.
Yes.
I know they said like guild members lurking about. Did you see like anybody like lurking in the shadows? Or is it like it's like so dead?
It's
Done
dead at
through
this
sound.
point, but make a perception check as you get towards the end of the bridge. Yes.
Oh, can I give her a advantage? Sure. Cool, nice.
As you get to the end of the bridge, you look up and towards the general direction you're going to see a plume of smoke.
Fire! And I go
Yeah.
faster.
As you arrive at the house, you find nothing but a still burning pile of lumber where Gavin house used to be.
No, oh, we have to kill Rain because I know it's his fault.
As soon as like that happens, you hear feet hit the ground going off of a horse, and a very distraught looking Gavin is like running up to the start of like the house and is just like, I don't.
I jump off and like immediately run past this room and go into the flames.
What is her house on fire?
Yeah.
Her house is literally
Burn to the ground.
it's like 6 or 7 pieces of lumber that haven't yet burned completely to ash that are sitting on the ground in her house today.
I'm gonna have that go
Oh,
out at
and
this point.
you
I
can do
don't
something with the flames.
understand. What? Why? Who? Why?
Stick to the
I'll
ground.
just start running.
Wait, where's my
What?
sister?
Perhaps the sweets.
I don't have a lot of ice. I just have that one like ice sword. I
Saunders is
You
a
would
very
notice-
careful mage.
A couple of things. There was smoke coming from somewhere inside of the wall as well, towards like the merchant and docking district. And there's also 2 different trails of blood that lead away from the house. One leads down past the outskirts of town, near the river that the bridge goes over, and the other leads further into Dust Town.
Oh, the direction of the streets.
No. Like further into Dust Town.
Wait.
Another plume of smoke.
Coming from inside the city wall.
Would we have not seen the blood when we were on the bridge itself?
You did not see the blood on the bridge itself.
So one goes to Dustin and one goes towards the
One goes towards, like, in the general direction of the bridge, but then kind of, seems like it doesn't go, it goes, like, almost next to the bridge rather than...
I'll
Then
follow
to
the
the
one
bridge
next to
itself,
the bridge.
but-
I'm gonna go.
You sure about that then?
What?
Is the smoke in the direction of the smoke?
Sven, please.
A little bit, but you would know the suites are not within city limits. They are outside of the walls. The smoke is coming from inside of the walls. It cannot logically, like, thinking it through for a half second, like, it cannot logically be coming from.
Sorry, it's just hard to picture
Yes,
sitting
like,
outside.
so, gates, like, front gates to like, the lower city,
Yeah.
Dust Town, suites, smoke.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go do some
If you insist on going to the other trail, please be safe.
You got it.
With that, kind of everyone kind of like deciding what to do. The twins kind of look to you and just goes, well, we have to go into the city anyway to do a recording, so we're both going to ride quick and check out what the smoke is. If anyone wants to come with, and Kat is just like, I've got it. It's got to be someone who can be cool. It's got to be someone who's comfortable within city limits, and I can do this. And it's like, well, yeah, but with your family, and Kat's like, I've got it. It's very finally, and it's like, we will report back. Place we should meet up at. Sounds good. The 3 of them ride off. The twins and Kat just rode off towards the second plume of smoke. Before she leaves, Kat kind of pulls up next to you and it's like, Could be bad. It's not bad. I know you're going to be needed by your friends here. Just please be okay. Yes. Holding you like this. You resist. You kiss. Just like lights off. It's that. Luna kind of looks at the rest of you and just goes, you said you're going down towards the river? Alright, I can take some of the rest of us and go further into Dusttown, because that's kind of what I'm familiar with.
I'm going to down.
Are you going to split the party? She's going to, no, Audie's going down towards the bridge, or Fen is going down towards the bridge. She is going with?
Yes.
If they're going, I'm going. So they
I
need
feel
to
like
Three of them
I
are
feel
going
like
down to the bridge.
split up will be easier to track.
I'll go to the bridge.
Okay, are you going with the four of them?
Sorry, who's going where?
Bridge. All four of them to the bridge.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the four.
Alright, in that case, Luna will take Rex, Autumn, Gab, and Rare, and be like, we're gonna track this blood path then. You track that one. If this one hits a dead end, then we'll follow yours and meet up with you.
Sounds good.
Alright. 5 of them right off, leaving the 5 of you alone with the Wormling.
Hello, Wormling.
What? Yes.
Still holding her?
No, Gab went with him and just like turned down and says, I'll be okay. Hopefully we find my sister. And then kind of looks down at the blood and just goes, hopefully we don't find my sister. Just be safe. You too, please. Just like looks like she's about to cry, but is like literally just like trying to fight really hard with the tears. 5 of them head off, leaving you to do what you would like.
Let's get this over with everyone.
Everything's for follow the blood trail.
Yep.
Are you helming it?
Yeah.
Make a survival check.
He assumes that Rain did something shitty and he already fucking hates him. So he's like, if he's still alive, he's ready to wring his neck.
Yeah, you are!
Survival check?
Yes.
I'm proficient in survival. 21.
21. You are able to very clearly follow the trail of blood down the
Gross.
So yeah, you follow it for about 120 feet, kind of like winding down towards the getting like closer to the bridge. And as you kind of like go in between, like down an alley, at the entrance of the alley, actually, like kind of like strung along the trail of blood, you see the body of somebody who appears to be in guild clothing.
Oh, I thought you said like who looks like Colette. Okay.
No, appears to be in guild clothing, just kind of laying there dead.
Can I search the body for like a note or something?
Make an investigation check.
Are they wearing a mask or anything?
No.
Can I look at mine and
Because
check?
That is what.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not
raining.
No, it is not
the
rain.
face look as anyone you've seen before?
No.
I
What?
only have +1 to second, so that's 14.
14. Investigation. It is.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You find they have 2 daggers on them and they have a short bow. But they don't even have a coin on them. They have no notes on them. It's just
Okay.
say that they were here for this and got killed in the process.
Cool.
Yes. Blood still continues.
I do have weird questions. I know that they did it in the temple. Are there any weird markings on your chest of this individual?
Nope.
Okay.
Continue heading down. You get about 300 more feet farther. At this point, you're kind of like almost parallel with the start of the bridge, but the bridge is about 600 feet that way. You're kind of going down like alongside it, almost like alongside the river. You stumble across another guild body, just kind of like this one face up, with it looks like a couple of small puncture wounds up near the chest and a very large slashing across the stomach. Guild member. What?
Do we possibly know like what the function is? Like a...
Make a medicine check. This is a human male you don't recognize.
15.
15. Looks like some sort of piercing sword-like weapon to the chest. With maybe a heavier longsword or greatsword for the slashing in the stomach. It definitely looks like 2 distinct weapons.
Okay.
Possibly 2 distinct people. Go for it. Make an investigation check.
I'll help you.
And so I can get killed.
Shake their bodies and then kill them.
15. 2 daggers and a short bow.
Okay.
Nothing else on it. No money, no notes, no nothing. It looks like another person. I would say sword and maybe the medicine check to kind of determine what they were. You know what weapons some of your companions use. I would say the short points, like the kind of like deep but small puncture wounds kind of are reminiscent of a weapon that you've seen Colette use. But when you think about like the large slashing wounds, you kind of think of the people that they mentioned. Ari doesn't use weapons like that, the prince doesn't use weapons like that, neither of the Drow siblings use weapons like that, so look at this game. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just I was about to say, because originally they said that the princess's escort was there, but they didn't see the princess there, and it's because the princess wasn't there, the prince was there. What?
No, the prince was the person with the brown hair and the bow.
Yeah, they just didn't recognize him as the prince, because they didn't know there was a prince. They were looking for the princess in a dress, and the princess in a dress was not there. There were other people there in monk-like clothes.
Going.
Yeah.
We see Rain, we shoot him on sight.
So you keep making your way forward. Eventually, you make your way about another 50 feet forward before you hear a loud from somewhere in front of you, and also slightly below you, just.
They're blowing the whole damn. Are they blowing the bridge up?
You're about 600 feet away from the bridge.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought we were like along the bridge. Okay, sorry.
No, like
okay.
you're like.
Great, they're not blowing that up.
I was about to say you're like here. The bridge is like here.
Okay, so I thought we were running alongside of it.
No,
okay.
Not yet. But as you continue to make your way forward, the buildings stop, and there's about 20 feet of space, of open space, and then it just nothing, and then maybe like another 100 feet away, there's like another section of land there. It's about as high as you are now, and then beyond that, you can kind of see the river.
Like open road?
There's about 20 feet of like open space, almost like a shelf.
Yeah.
And then it just seems to drop. And then you kind of see like another shelf up on the other side. Possibly you're 20 feet away from it.
Can I look down?
You go and look down, it is a cliff. There is like a basin that is about 80 feet wide and maybe 250 feet long that is running there, that kind of like has like a long wall connecting this way too, with just like a little opening connecting to the river on either way. Though the river doesn't run up into the basin itself. It is flat, and based on proximity to the river, it is like a hard, almost like, not actually hard, it's like a dusty, like red clay type of dirt that belongs to it. But looking down into the basin, I will set a scene. The whole scene before anyone makes anything they do, just so you can see what you're going to see here.
I was like, if that's...
It's a kraken. No, Penelope is not doing anything wrong to you guys. So, you stand at a cliffside on the edge of Dusttown, about 80 feet below you in a red clay basin that is walled on both sides but extends out to the river on both ends. As you look over, as you breathe in, you can just smell that sort of raw, irony smell of blood.
Oh.
Towards the open side of the canyon, to your right, a man stands there in long gray and gold robes. He has brown hair starting to turn gray, and a mustache and beard that sort of connect and extend a few inches past his chin. He's holding a staff, and he has 8 rogues in relatively guild-like getup with their symbol and everything on their chest that are all wielding crossbows that are kind of like around him, sort of aiming towards the other end. In front of him are about 20 more guild members with scimitars, lances, and axes, all like kind of moving forward, and then in front of them is more kind of scattered about, moving forward still. As they advance forward, laying on the ground in puddles of blood are 4 figures, face up and face down, that appear to be dressed in monk-like clothing that are... Clothing is a combination of blue and gray that looks very, very familiar to you too. You look down and you immediately notice 4 dead monks of the Cloud Peak Mountains that are all laying in puddles of blood. Guild members already moving past them.
Do I recognize any of them?
From this distance, no. Just behind them are 2 figures dressed in Mage Academy outfits. And probably 10 feet past them, laying on the ground, is a very wounded, bleeding, slowly breathing orphans. Again,
Do you recognize the mage?
the mages, they appear to be wearing the same kind of prefect getup as Aqua and Night do. Oh, we're getting nailed this episode. On the end closest to the bridge, first figure you see is Colette. Right arm by her side, sword drawn with her left hand. Her right arm appears to be unable to move as there is a crossbow bolt stuck straight through her shoulder. And as she kind of like, in a familiar gesture to the four of you who use magic, you see her kind of like snap her fingers twice as something attempting to summon some arcane energy, and there's just nothing left in the tank. She kind of is just like her outfit that she typically wears, like the dress that she wears, covered and soaked in her own blood, and just sort of arm disabled from the impact of the bolt. Let me start again. Cool. Next to her is a profusely bleeding Rain. Dagger in one hand, as his other is sort of holding his abdomen, kind of trying to keep all of the organs inside. A small pool of blood beginning to form at his feet as he just looks beaten, bruised, and just hacked up as he is like kind of just barely hanging on. Behind them, you see a cut up looking Twy, standing with Amaranthine and Liari, who are all covered in cuts and blood, all of them. Twy with her daggers drawn, Liari with both scimitars out, Amaranthine with her focus out, kind of like some tears staining her eyes as she's looking towards the two people in the prefect outfits who appear to be dead on the ground. In the back, you see Anna and Sol, who are both look frazzled, if not bruised, and between the two of them, they are holding another person who appears to be dressed in monk attire, similar to the four that had fallen. That figure appears to be lifeless as they are holding them, but whether they are unconscious or dead, from this distance, you're not sure you know. Nox is next to them, though Nox is currently applying pressure to a bandage that appears to be around his right arm, which at first glance you just like, you might miss it, but as you look back, his right arm now appears to cut off at the elbow. He's sort of just kind of holding Nox.
Oh god.
This is kind of like attempting to staunch the bleeding on what is left of his arm. About 30 feet to their left, you see one of the members of the guild sort of charge in, and then a flash of blood, and they fall. Felling him, you would see kind of like driving straight through him with a weapon similar to the one that T uses. You would see a tall sort of air ganassi with a light blue skin.
Oh no.
Wearing the same kind of monk attire. You, from this distance, can easily recognize Lumina. As she fells the guild member and sort of like throws him off of her weapon, she has a black eye and cuts all along her arms and her torso. And she kind of, as another guild member charges her, she kind of ducks down, and the person who is standing behind her sort of flips over her, and you see like a flash of a longsword kind of cut up from the person's legs, and as they hit the ground, bring it down and bring it straight through the guild member's torso. And as the figure lifts it up, sort of kicking the dead body off of the blade, and sort of spins the blade, and kind of brings it back up to the ready position, sort of standing there, ready to take on all comers with Lumina. And you would see Lucian, actually, the assistant to Grand Duke Bastion, I think. Lucian kind of looks up and kind of looks at a point that is closer to the painting of Hugo that you're standing at, and just kind of raises his hand up suddenly before a piercing scream comes from the part of the canyon that is significantly closer to where you are standing. So you have to kind of like almost look down at it as you just hear. I'm not even going to demonstrate it because I'm going to absolutely blow out the microphone when I do this, but you just hear like a piercing shriek, followed by like a pretty solid part of a body hitting the dirt as you would look down and you would see Finn with a smaller, half-sized body kind of laying next to him, unmoving in a puddle of blood, and you're able to easily spot what the shriek was because Finn's hand is now up right about here, and there is now a throwing dagger protruding directly from his right eye. As he kind of like stumbles back a bit and kind of drops to the ground, and is just sort of like still screaming out as he's holding it. The guild member who threw it, about 40 feet in front of him, kind of twirling another throwing dagger, getting ready to throw it. Right as she releases it, Colette kind of like takes 2 steps forward quick. Finally, a last blink of magical effort coming from her hand as she disappears, reappears directly like next to Finn, attempting to push him out of the way. But she's able to like push him out of the way, but then as she turns to face the foe, the dagger kind of striking her right in the skull, not embedding itself into her, but like sort of bouncing off of her. She stumbles back a bit, blood now pouring from her face and staining her brown hair crimson. Yes, as she kind of like stumbles a bit, and as soon as that happens, you can see the 3 party members who are behind them kind of like all rush forward a bit to kind of protect the members of Zenim. Rain, in his state, is even able to make it up kind of next to the prince and sort of like do his best to kind of stand over the smaller corpse that's laying there. And figure that you know, for the rest of you, the Ergonasi and Lucian also quickly sprint their way over towards Colette and Finn, as the both of them are more or less out of commission.
So, like, out of character real quick. You said we were gonna level up when we got back, so are we technically leveled up now? Okay.
But we'll level up after the session ends because we're just about at the end of this session. We're going to be dealing with a lot of this next session.
Oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do because I have something that I get at level 5.
You're only turning level 4.
Level 4.
You're currently level 3. Nope.
That one was hopeful.
Well, now I'm fucked.
But you hear a somewhat familiar voice next to you all of a sudden, as you are looking on in horror as a group of people who you are close to are not faring particularly well, especially when you consider there's the man in the cloak, there's 8 guards behind him, there's 20 guards in front of him, and about 25 more coming through. So there's about 50 members of the guild down there, advancing on 10 or less members down there that you currently fight. But next to you,
It is penalty.
yes,
No, it's the.
you hear a voice that you've heard once before back in the temple. Just, it doesn't really seem like a fair fight, does it?
Of course not.
As you turn to look, there are 4 figures, all wearing the black cloaks and the masks. All of the masks have slightly different details, but you're able to recognize 2 of them as 2 that you saw in the temples. One of the figures appears to be shorter. The other new figure appears to be slightly taller, but one is kind of walking up to you. You notice this is the one that did not do a lot of talking last time. It is not the one who took off part of their mask and spoke to you, but rather the other one that just sort of says that to you. Attacking people in broad daylight. The guild is getting more and more
Ballsy.
full of themselves, wouldn't you say?
Ballsy, yes.
No, sometimes people like this really need to be taken down at fight.
No, I agree.
I would certainly hope that you don't think that we work for them.
And then who do you work for?
I think they work for themselves. Yeah, they work for me.
Not exactly. They're pests. lately, the man in the center with the robes is getting a little too big for his own britches, as it were. He could be taken down a little bit, as he's been saying a couple of not nice things about my master.
And your master.
My master. She kind of turns to all of them, and they all kind of nod with her.
And your master is part of your group or leading the guild?
We have nothing to do with the guild. The guilds merely exist because we allow it.
How about we allow it to not exist? Nevertheless.
That would be appreciated. I would be willing to help with that if you would let me.
And in return,
Our
Nothing.
friends don't die.
You would be able to save your friends and can help us deal with a pest who has outlived his usefulness. The whole organization has to be honest.
I don't care what your organization is.
Could you point to him? Very well. Then I will very quickly take you down to there. If anything else, you can simply do my friendship.
Is this official or
The Shadow Man Company.
we're already on a first name basis.
I'm afraid you know nothing of names. She kind of brushes there's like a part of her robe that sticks out. She kind of brushes it aside. With her female specifically. She kind of brushes it. She brushes it aside, and there is the handle of a blade sticking out of it. You would notice two very familiar indents in the blade. The mark of designation of fate. And you would notice and you would notice one of the indents has a gem in it.
Motherfucker.
That doesn't have mine.
No, it doesn't.
You said it does.
Well, maybe we can all get
Yours all have indents, but none of the gems are currently there. You have to search for them. That's the whole point
That's
of the quest.
Shadowmourne, right?
Well, maybe we can all get to know each other. Very nice point. After we take care of this problem, because I'd like to.
Shadowmourne, right?
Is the name of
Something
my
blasted.
blade.
No, I'm just asking
Yes,
about a character.
yes.
That's who's talking. Okay.
Might have to pass on that, as we do have a lot of work to do. You know, the Black Rose keeps us busy.
I was being sarcastic. Could we just please get down there? His brave facade is quickly fading into panic.
Yeah.
In that case, I will allow you to go down there and help your friends deal with the man in the center. Is the name of. You can kill him if you have the skill to. His name is.
Poison. You got poison.
His name is Chernabog.
Whoa, what?
CHERNOBOG. Keep in mind, this is a man that has been alive for hundreds of years. He specializes in the art of necromancy. Not to be trifled with. Chernabog?
Well, like, can I tell him?
As you look down there, no, he is a high elf.
Okay.
He looks like he has been alive. He looks
Even for like an elf,
aged
he looks
for a
old.
high elf. So he looks like he could be in his 400s or 500s. But do this and well, I can't give you anything, but maybe the four generals of the Black Rose would smile fondly upon you.
I have a question. Well, not a question. Nod towards the sword that she has, and is that the one of the betrayed?
I'm talking about Shadowmourne.
The sword. He would nod towards the sword.
Shadowmourne.
So that's its name.
That is correct. That is one of the names that it goes by.
Is that the time?
It is. Give me 1 second, because I'm going to continue that line once my computer decides to stop fucking around. Shadowmourne is its name, though it does also have a title. It is, simply put, the end of all things.
like putting it into the guild.
Wait, is his real name Cartus?
No.
No, that's
No, believe you are.
The other one.
Believe you are thinking of, and kind of they have turn around, and one of the other figure with the familiar mask just goes,
Oh, right.
You gonna flash your weapon?
"Glad you forgot about me."
He has.
Oh, how long is the other one?
A previous time.
Ah,
Oh, you haven't seen anything about my weapon yet.
yeah, I didn't trust him.
I can tell
Why
you
don't you
that
show
right
us
now.
on those spots down there?
No, I think I'll leave that to you. Finally, the first figure who has the sword at their belt walks up and just goes, "So, you ready to go down and help your friends?"
Yep. Yeah, I'll summon my weapon.
Pull out my big old book.
Very well. Try your best not to die. It would be a shame if we couldn't get rid of those. Besides, it kind of reaches up, her hands starting to trace like a sigil in the air. As it completes, energy flows around all of you. Puts your hand a little bit more forward. She's only about 5 feet away from you now, and kind of puts her hand right on your cheek. So, do you back away from it, or do you allow it?
Allow it.
It'd be a shame to lose such a pretty face. And all of you are gone.
It's you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We're all gone.
All of you vanish for a second, your stomachs lurching as you're sort of thrown forward and then stop. And with that, all of you are planted directly in front of Amaranthine, Twy, and Liari, as all of them just sort of like give a little shock as they look to you.
We're not in the freaking basin.
Oh, we do
You are.
superhero.
You are. They were
No,
3
it's
people
back
in the
here.
basin.
Oh, no,
If I look up to where we was, do I see the forest still there?
You see, all of them were in the basin. They were just at
Sorry.
different points in the basin. You look up and you see the 4 of them up there before 3 of them sort of like all away. And the let's say the one who was speaking to you kind of like looks to you, gives a bow.
Yeah, there's a clear flush on the sheets.
Blows I was about to say it blows a kiss and then gone.
It gets
If
worse.
you were in such a serious situation, Kai would be teasing you.
But all of you appear directly in front of Liari, Amaranthine, and Twy. Behind them is Anna, Sol, the monk figure that they're holding, and Nox, who appears to be out of commission.
Can I tell who they're holding?
Doesn't look to be someone you know, but they do appear to be pretty dead.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Have you seen this man?
Recognize them.
But as you look across the battlefield,
Oh no. We're gonna be fighting.
Pretty sure.
Well, this week?
No.
They're gonna launch across the whole hallway.
yes, as you look across the
Can
battlefield,
we have like with the really strong monk lady just eat our win?
and see your friends about 25 feet to the right of you, 2 of them bleeding pretty badly.
Bless you.
The figures advancing on you. There is a slight rumbling coming from way in front of you to your right, and from behind where you saw the cloaked figure and the crossbowman, you also hear some shouts. It appears more people have entered the basin than not you. And that is where we'll end tonight's episode. So, told you, it'd be a big one. Be coming back into town for something special. You guys get to make some real choices now. Everybody have fun.
character.
Got some good RP.
We did get some good RP in.
Oh
We
boy.
got some good RP in. We got some good story arcing in.
Poor Syl.
Not poor you. It's a great chance for RP.
I know. I
So
love
women like me.
I hate it.
That was
So-
a lot though. That was a lot.
Whole lot of cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You guys got to meet. You guys got right. You guys got to meet 4 people that are pretty high up in the Black Rose, which you learned is a pretty evil organization, but evidently a pretty evil organization that doesn't get along with your other evil organizations. So
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
yeah, about to say they're happy to use you guys to that end.
And maybe us in return.
I wouldn't bet on that.
Well, I mean, because we're weakening the guild.
Yeah.
So, like, hey, you want... If they teleport us closer, we can do much more damage than running down there.
Yeah, it'll be exciting for next week, right?
Internal
Sure.
screaming.
Hey, you finally
Fuck,
got
we have to
reunited with
wait-
some of the people from Quatsi. Yeah, 5 of the 6 of them are dead, but like, hey.
We have to wait a week.
Yeah. Hey, hopefully Colette and
Are
Finn
you
don't
glad
die. That
we
would suck,
were,
right?
Streaming next week?
Yeah, I was about to say, can you imagine if we were taking next week off?
I think someone will be murdered.
Probably me, but that's okay. All right, so I hope everyone out there enjoyed that. I felt like that was a pretty jam-packed episode. So until next time, we have been the Unlucky Few. I am hungry and ready to party for my birthday. So without any... Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birth.
Happy birth.
So with that said,
We have been the Unlucky Few. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate and love all of you out there. And until next time, bye!
bye, have a beautiful time.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be live streaming November 9th at twitch.tv/TUFDND. For more updates and content from us, check out our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at TUFDND, links in the description. From all of us here out at the Unlucky Few, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. See you later.